You're listening to the Baumbastic Podcast with Andrew Ellis on Inside Arkansas.
And what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Baumbastic Podcast presented by Inside Arkansas. We are live for Arkansas versus Grambling, the first midweek game of the year, something I've been hyping up for a few weeks now. And of course, if you were with us for our live watch along for Arkansas's doubleheader season opener, you know what the vibes are like. You know what we got going on here. We're just going to be sitting back, watching some Razorback baseball together and enjoying it, to all having calm, rational takes and normal reactions to the action. It's going to be a lot of fun. So get you something to drink, get you something to puff on, whatever your preference is, or hide from your boss at work. I'm sure some of you were doing that. But however it is you are consuming this product, I appreciate you for being here. And like I said, we're just going to be watching the game together. Of course, I will not have the game on the stream here because that would be breaking the rules. That would get us shut down immediately. So obviously, like, the ideal way for you to do this is for you to put the game on your own TV, have me on your phone, laptop, whatever. Hopefully our streams are on a similar level of, I'm not spoiling things for you, or you're not spoiling things for me. But if that's the case, whatever. We're just going to react to this whole thing together. So again, appreciate you guys for being here. Before we get going on today's stream, game's about to start here at about 3 p.m., maybe 3:02 first pitch, so it'll give them a few minutes. But before we get going on today's stream, I do want to, of course, talk to you guys about our buddies over at Alumni Hall. Shout out to them, the ultimate Razorback fan shopping experience. You can check them out over at 3417 North College Avenue. If you're going to the basketball game tomorrow, you need some stuff for a whiteout, Alumni Hall is the way to go. They are the best in the business. You will not be disappointed with their selection. You will definitely find something there that you can enjoy. Something for everyone, for the kids, for the dog, for the grandma, for whatever. For any occasion, Alumni Hall has you covered with all the best brands. And if you are not in the area and you need something for later down the road, you can check out their website here, insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. That'll take you right to their online store. Support them, support us. We really appreciate all them and all they do for us. So yeah, make sure everybody's dialed in for that that whiteout tomorrow when Arkansas takes on Texas. Big game, and you can get the baseball uniforms, all that. I believe the Hogs are going with the red uniforms today. So if you want to match them, you better hurry up and get to Alumni Hall, check it out. So I see people starting to chime in here a little bit. Love it. I think it's gonna be a little bit lighter crowd than we probably had for that season opener. But again, I appreciate everybody who's here, man. And so look, we'll be chiming in with the chat. We'll be all kicking it together. I'll be going back and forth between, of course, I've got the game pulled up in one tab, chat pulled up in one tab, but I'll be going back and forth between innings. And so any questions you guys want to know about Arkansas baseball or about anything, I said earlier on Inside Arkansas Live today, I'd answer questions about Star Wars. There was some news on that front today. But whatever you guys want to talk about, man, we're just kicking it. We're having fun. We're watching the game and doing what we do best, man. Shout out to Ryan McDaniel, a legend of the chat, a consistent Baumbastic enjoyer. We really appreciate him and all his support. But he says, Andrew, you talked about him a lot in the fall. When are we going to get to see Brenton Clark? Yeah, so Brenton Clark is Arkansas's freshman outfielder, guy who absolutely tore it up in the fall. I think he hit over 300 for the entire fall. Was definitely got a start in one of those exhibition games. Maybe it was in the Fall Classic. Maybe it wasn't the exhibitions against Oklahoma State, but a guy that definitely made some waves in the fall. Didn't go quite as well for him in the spring. I think he was like 2 for 18, 2 for 19 or something like that. But a guy that certainly, at most schools would probably be pushing for a starting spot. Arkansas has definitely got some options in the outfield, some guys they need to get going. I thought today might be a time when we would see some of these freshmen like Gabe Frazier or Brenton Clark or Zane Becker behind the plate get a start. And I'm sure if things go according to plan, you'll probably see those guys get in there. But yeah, here's the lineup, by the way, for anybody that did not see that. So you got Davalon there starting in left field. Logan Maxwell making his first appearance in the outfield. He's been DHing and from that hamstring. He's playing right field today. Kahio Aloy at DH, something that we all appreciate, we all love. And center field, you got Justin Thomas too. That's been the starting center fielder for pretty much every, I guess, or he's been starting in the outfield for every game, not always starting in center field. They made that switch this past weekend. He's been just a consistent, no doubt, no-brainer guy at the bottom of the lineup there. And yeah, so I mean, they went with pretty much not the exact starting lineup that we've seen every game, but they went with mostly starters. So in games like this, I feel like you're kind of trying to do that balance between getting some of your young guys some action, but also getting some of your guys going. I'm really glad to see Souza in the lineup, of course, because that's my guy, but also I just feel like they need to get him going. And so I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to do just that. Shout out to my guy Logan, says they don't call him Andrew best in the business Ellis for nothing. This is true information. There's a very specific reason they call me that. Let's see. I see Christian Holden here, legend of the chat. Whoopig Sui, let's go. SCT, new father, says banging. And he also follows up with, there's plenty of time for young guys to play, but there's real game depth pieces that need at-bats. Now, this is true. This is kind of how I view it. And so I wasn't going to complain no matter what they did with the lineup today, but I think you can kind of see them make that decision between starting a bunch of young guys and just getting them experience, which like SCT saying, you can do that later. But Arkansas needs to get some of these top guys going. And Lane Hedge said he was expecting to see some young guys in the lineup, like some of those guys I just mentioned. I think there's a good chance you'll see most of those, whether it's today or whether it's later midweeks. They're definitely going to get some action. I think Becker's probably going to go in for Helfrick at some point during this game. I think they will definitely look for an opportunity to get Helfrick off his feet. And I'm over here getting distracted. We're starting a baseball game here, and so let's see. Have I missed first pitch just yet? Okay, there we go. I don't know where you guys are at, but Martavius Thomas is walking to the plate. Martavius Thomas, former Arkansas Razorback commit. Some of you may remember. By the way, you got Ben Bybee, the junior right-hander from Kansas City, on the bump, who is making his 450th midweek start of his career. Dude's just been crushing it in this role since his freshman year. So yeah, let's see. First pitch coming up here. Again, I don't know where you guys are at. I don't know if I'm ahead or behind of y'all. Ben Bybee gets a swing and miss for the first pitch of the ball game. So anybody who placed that Saracen bet on what the first pitch was going to be, it was a strike. Eventually, this little score bug here to my left, but I guess you guys are right. Okay, here it is now. Finally becoming an actual score bug. Okay. Let's see if we can get this sucker right. Okay. There you go. Now we got a score. Okay. Now 2 straight balls from Bybee, 2-1. While Bybee works through this first one, I'm going to get through some of these comments here. Let's see. Yeah, Kyle Shadowins, interesting name there, says, hopefully Souza and Maxwell can get going after a game against Grambling. Yeah, this would be the time to do it for sure. Apologies, my internet's been shaky. For those of you that have been watching Inside Arkansas Live, you know I've been going through a battle here with Ozarks Go. Ozarks Go might be on the chopping block. In fact, plans are in place for them to be on the chopping block, hopefully in the next couple days. So we'll see if that improves my ability to stream this sucker. We get a ground ball to Nolan Souza for out number 1, and so we are officially full on underway here. Appreciate my guy Hogzilla, who I think I know who Hogzilla is. Sometimes I get confused because some people I know their real name, some people I know their screen name, some people I know both. I think I know who Hogzilla is, but either way, appreciate you for being here, Hogzilla. Yeah, let's see. Ryan McDaniel says, Bybee, the perpetual midweek guy. I don't think hopefully he's not going to go too long today. I don't think they're counting on him to throw 5-6 innings here and just that'll really be his role. I mean, he's a junior. You were kind of waiting on him to take that next step and get into that weekend mix. Not necessarily as a starter, but hopefully get a role. And we'll see. I mean, Arkansas's got some right-handers that some veteran right-handers like McIntyre and Dylan Carter in there. We'll see if Bybee's able to kind of get in that mix. So hopefully if all goes well, he throws about 1, 2, maybe 3 innings, and then they can get him out of there and use him on the weekend potentially. By the way, I know a lot of people were asking about Gage Wood. DVH was asked about Gage Wood in the pregame with Phil Elson. They asked him about it, and we do have a diagnosis for what the MRI shared. It is right shoulder impingement is what we're calling it. It's what they're going with, and so it's something that I think he said it could take him a few weeks to get that thing right. So we'll see how long he's out. I assume he's not going to pitch this weekend. In fact, I can all but guarantee he will not be pitching this weekend. We'll see how long he's going to be out and what that recovery looks like. Hopefully they play it safe, because I don't want to see a guy rush back, and there definitely is risk of re-injury with something like that. And, it doesn't seem like they have plans for surgery, but I was doing some research earlier. And if you do re-injure that shoulder impingement, it's basically like a tendon going up against kind of that shoulder bone or something. That's kind of what it is. I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so hopefully they give him some time to rest. It seems like what you do in the situation is just rest, physical therapy. So we'll see him do that for a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Then he'll get back to throwing. They'll see how he feels. But so just something to monitor there. But it does not look like Gage Wood is going to be pitching the Arkansas Razorbacks, at least for the foreseeable future. But it was not the worst case scenario, which we all anytime you see a guy go down like that and call for the trainer and he's kind of worried a little bit, all of our brains go at elbow and go to the UCL. And so it's not that. So at least there's something there. Bobby issues a walk. So now we got 1 on, 1 out. Grambling can, by the way, Grambling can swing it. They're 4-3 on the year. Like, obviously, this is a team that, you'd expect Arkansas to handle okay. And like the pitching staff, Arkansas should definitely be scoring some runs. But this is not some team that's like incapable of scoring some runs against Arkansas. They hit the ball pretty well. In fact, their hitting numbers are better than Arkansas so far this year. Of course, they've played a little bit lesser competition, but definitely a team that if you're not careful can get you in some trouble. Bo says, "Can we get Curtis in here with a trainer analysis of an injury?" Yeah, we'll see. Curtis has been a little offended by how many, not offended, but a little sad that people were thinking he was the jinx and that he's not bringing the offense. Okay, we got a ground ball to Nolan Souza over there at second base, and now runner moves up to second. We got 2 outs now, so we'll see if Bobby can work out of the injury. But yeah, Curtis was a little bit bummed by how it went whenever he came and joined us for the live watch along doubleheader. So we shall see if we might get a Curtis appearance in here, and I think you also might get a John Neighbors appearance in here. But we shall see. We're just kicking it, man. This is just a function. You don't know who all is going to show up. You don't know if your ex-girlfriend might pull up. You don't know if she's bringing a friend. You don't know who all might show up on these streams. Ideally, we will get to a point where these really pop off, and we might have some former players or maybe some notable Razorback people that you might want on there. I've got my eye on a particular right-handed pitcher who recently finished his time with the program. Okay. Okay, so Bobby's up to 15 pitches now. Again, I don't know where y'all are at, if y'all are like ahead of me on this chat or not. I'm looking at a 1-2 count. Runner still on second base, 2 outs, still a 0-0 game. I think if anything, I'm going to be behind is usually how it goes. That's how it was going the other day. Mm-hmm. By the way, I talked about it earlier. A little surprised. Like, I just figured with Helfrick, you would want to get him a day off at some point. And he, of course, got to get a day off on Saturday of last weekend, opening weekend. But thought this might be a good time to get him off his feet. But I think it's a time where they're trying to get him going a little bit. Okay, Bobby gets a swing and miss on a breaking ball, gets out of the inning. I believe that's his first strikeout. So a couple ground balls and a strikeout, a walk. And none too crazy for Ben Bybee in the first inning. Again, I think if he comes out and throws another promising inning, looks good, maybe Arkansas gets some runs on the board, you start feeling good. I don't expect this to be a super lengthy start for Ben Bybee because, again, you would really, a lot of times you're using this midweek starting role to kind of get someone going. Or maybe you have a freshman that you might think is going to be a future weekend starter for you. You're trying to just test him out, see him in this role. I don't really think there's a ton of value in Ben Bybee throwing 4, 5, 6 innings here today. Whereas if it was like a freshman, like, a Felder or a Steele Eves or a Tag Andrews or whatever, where it's like kind of their audition that you might not use on the weekend because none of those 3 guys have pitched on the weekend yet. So it maybe makes a little bit more sense. But with Bybee, I think it's probably going to be maximum 2-3 innings. I'm not listening. I don't have audio on here, but it does seem like Dalton Holyfield says, has Forsyth done a lot of commentary or a ton of commentary? He has. I remember, I guess it was last year. It was either last year or the year before where Logan Forsyth first started kind of mixing in. He's basically the like if Troy Eklund can't go, they'll get Logan Forsythe in there to call the game with Brett Dolan. But yeah, I'm not listening. I'm assuming, is he on the call today? Can anyone confirm or deny? I do not know. But yeah, he's done a few games here or there. Hadn't done a ton. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 games total. I also haven't listened to him. Most of the time I'm either like doing this or I'm at the game. I haven't listened to him, so I don't have an opinion on his takes. Okay. Lefty on the bump today for the Tigers, Nick Robinson. Kyle asks, do you think we see Wiggins today after his rough outing on Sunday? I think that's definitely possible. I mean, what did he throw, like 12 pitches or something like that? He didn't throw much. It was not a long leash DVH gave him. And by the way, I want to give DVH credit because one, I mean, he saw kind of how it was going and was like, all right, he didn't have it today. He clearly didn't have it, didn't have the command, which DVH said after the game. He's like, we just haven't seen that. He's like, even when he's run into trouble, it's not because he's been walking guys or throwing the ball all over the place. Like, he's been pretty consistent as a strike thrower. And so I think they were a little surprised by that. In hindsight, getting Wiggins when he did may have actually given Arkansas a chance to hold on there. I mean, when it ended up being a 2-run game. So give credit to DVH, man. Didn't mess around. Okay. I'm looking at a 1-0 count to Charles Davalon. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Now it is a 1-1 count here. This does not look like a guy that is throwing 77 miles an hour, which a lot of times, sometimes in these games against Pine Bluff or Grambling or UCA or whoever, sometimes that's the case, but it does not look like he's throwing 77. Let's see. Addison says, do you think we'll only see Cahillo against lefties? That was the only ABs he got over the weekend. I don't think so. I mean, of course, it kind of makes sense to platoon DH a little bit. And honestly, guys, if I'm being honest, coming into the season, look, I know there's a lot of things that change once you get into the season. But Cahillo was a guy that wasn't swinging the bat so well coming into the season to where it was like, oh, you've got to have him in the lineup no matter what. I feel like he's definitely graduated to that point now to where it's like, okay, we don't really need to platoon him necessarily. But I think that's kind of why they were platooning him coming into the year, is just because he was one of those guys. He's in the mix, but he hadn't necessarily earned the spot. But no, I think at this point he's definitely trending towards being in there more. Maybe not every single day, but I definitely don't think they're worried about him swinging the bat against righties necessarily. It's just kind of Logan Maxwell's another guy that they want to get going. And so if he's not playing the outfield, he's going to be an option at DH. If Rocco Pepe's not playing first base, he's going to be an option at DH. If Diggs isn't playing right field, he's going to be an option at DH as well. And so I think you're going to continue to see a little bit of a mixture there. But I definitely think Cahillo will get. I mean, hell, the big 2-run double he had the other day ended up being against a righty. Of course, they brought him in against a lefty, but it was not. It did not end up being that way. So Davalon gets a leadoff walk. Vahiva Aloy is now up with a 2-1 count. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game, if I had to guess. And maybe even on both sides, because, I mean, again, I think Grambling can swing the bat a little bit, and Arkansas might have some younger arms out there. So if you got the over on Saracen, I saw Arkansas was minus 1,400. I didn't see an over-under, but probably a good bet. Little courtesy 3-1 strike there. Vahiva Aloy, the reigning SEC player of the week. Man, he just looks a lot different at the plate. Obviously, he was good last year, but I mean, just the stance is different. His approach is a little different. He just looks like a new guy. Bow out. Let's see. Where I saw it. Oh yeah, I saw this comment from Ryan. He says, Andrew, I'm pissed that you guys didn't launch the Baumbastic shirt to begin with. Well, we do have a Baumbastic shirt now available if you want to pre-order that. I think is it today is the last day for pre-orders, and then they'll start shipping those suckers out next week. But yeah, I mean, look, it was one. I was kind of involved in the decision making, but basically John just asked. He was like, "Hey, you want to do what do you want to do? Any type of clothing item? And I was like, hey, I've had some people ask about the hats, so we'll do that. And then they sold pretty well, and now popular demand, supply and demand. Now there's some people that want shirts, but go get you one before we run out. I don't know how many we have, but go get you one. Early mound visit after back-to-back walks to start the frame, and then a walk or a ball to Logan Maxwell, and so it is not going well for Mr. Robinson so far. Yeah, Hogzilla says he's ready to rep the Baumbastic hat. That's big time. Yeah, love that Baumbastic hat. Not everyone can have the vintage original edition that I had that Hillary made me, but now you can get the cool little one with the rope. It's gonna be nice. Dalton says, "Good thing it's warm now, so he can activate Peak Alloy." Yeah, definitely not a coincidence that ever since literally the first game of the season, I think Vahiva went 0 for 4. Either 0 for 4 or 1 for 4. I think it was 1 for 4, actually. He did have a base hit. That was the coldest game of the year. Since then, he's actually been really good. As soon as the weather got over 40 degrees, he started homering and hadn't looked back since. Got Logan Maxwell squaring around to bunt. Maybe that was just to kind of play some mind games with the pitcher there. Or maybe it's just trying to be nice and give him an out because he knows they're going to score a lot of runs. Okay, looks like it was just a throw off the pitcher type of thing. So now 1-2, he comes back with 2 strikes. Nasty Nate back there coaching it up. Man, them Reds look good. Arkansas has not worn the creams yet this year, if I'm not mistaken. Logan Maxwell puts a swing on one. Going to end up getting caught in shallow left center. And Davalon is going to move up to third base. Man, Davalon, no matter what the situation is, Davalon thinks he can get that extra base. He obviously got thrown out at third the other day, you guys saw, in a pretty crucial spot. May or may not have actually cost Arkansas the game. You could make an argument on Friday night. He got thrown out at second base probably 3 times in the offseason in terms of scrimmages, whether it was a base hit down the line or a blooper up the middle where he's like, I'm going to try and get 2. He does not mind getting thrown out on the base paths, especially like, I don't even mean like stolen bases. I just mean like just trying to get an extra base. He loves it. All righty. So now you got Iredale up at the dish, first and third, 1 out. A little hashtag situational hitting for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And by the way, so obviously this is a game against Grambling. I'm sure there's going to be someone that goes 4 for 4 in this game that, there's not really much you can learn from it. Hell, I think Jason Jones hit 2 home runs in this game last year. Oh, Vahiva was going on first movement, throw to first, ends up getting him a second. He wants a review. There has never been a baseball player that truly thinks they are out, ever. So we'll see. We'll see if he's right about that. Man. I know everybody loves the small ball. Everybody loves the running around the bases and all that, which, by the way, Arkansas is dead last in the SEC right now in stolen bases. This is why you don't do it. When you have a guy in Brent Iredale at the plate, first and third, 1 out, obviously it's cool to be at second base and, maybe put 2 guys in scoring position, but you have a guy that can literally make it a 3-0 game right off the bat. And when you're at first base with Brent Iredale, you're in scoring position basically because he's very capable of putting one in the gap. Now making it 2 outs, runner at third. I mean, not the end of the world. And he was going on first movement there against the lefty. He actually might have an argument. Well, I don't know. I think the guy ended up getting him on the second tag, but the guy kind of had the tag holding there by the bag and then lifted it up at one point. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that this review is going to go Arkansas's way, but we shall see. We shall see, fellas. We shall see. What do y'all think at home? See, I don't think Vahiva is gonna win this battle. Oh man, it's good to see the sun out at Baum Walker, man. Good to see that sun out. What is it? What's the temperature out there right now? Is it like 60 degrees, something like that? 73 is what I'm seeing. 71. Huh. Oh, man. Let's see. Have they already... Stat Broadcast hasn't updated yet, has not spoiled it yet. Let's see. Dalton Holyfield says, if you had to replace Taylon Green with someone from this team, who would you pick and why? Who would I pick and why? To play quarterback at the University of Arkansas on this baseball team. You know, it's interesting. Some of the guys who, like, athletically you think, like, make sense, like, could maybe play football, probably don't know much about football. Like Brent Iredale, I look at him and I'm like, hey, that kind of looks like I could see him playing quarterback. But, like, he's from Australia. He probably could play some rugby. I don't know if he knows much about American football. Same for Souza, who DVH says hates football. He said he could play safety, could play receiver. Like, he's that good of an athlete, but he's not a big fan of football. So I don't know. Like, he's a guy that athletically, again, I think would make sense, but I don't know. I see Parker says Jackson Wiggins. I mean, Jackson Wiggins is just a freak athlete. So, that actually might be the answer. I don't know how fast he is necessarily, but he's got the vertical ability. So I would assume there's some explosion in there. He could probably get around. Yeah, maybe Jackson's the answer. But no, I think Souza, just because the size and the strength. And nowadays in football, you just got to go get a big old athlete, and teach him how to throw a little bit. It's pretty much the way the NFL is doing it these days, with the Josh Allens of the world, the Trey Lances of the world, the Anthony Richardsons of the world. Yeah, this review is extremely long. They are really looking at this. So maybe there really is something going on here. I keep thinking I'm tripping. I'm like, man, I must be an hour and a half behind. But have you guys seen? I mean, do y'all know what happened with this review? Floyd says the second angle they just showed is fuzzy, but looks like he did the swim move, but too fuzzy to see if he was tagged. Yeah, I mean, and by the way, the throw beat him by like 20 feet. Like, it wasn't even one of those like bang bang things. Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, I'm with you, Caden. Just call him out, or no, you, Caden. Let's just call him out and let's go. But I'm also with you, Squealy Dan. It does look like he's out. Yeah. Hogzilla says he swam the tag, but I think he got him on the mitt. Probably. That seems about right. All right, are they coming out? Okay, he's out. So thank God we took a look at that. John Ham says, "Do you like the steal attempt there?" No, I don't. I don't. I mean, I don't hate it, but like, I don't like stealing whenever you have a guy at the plate that is such a power threat to where you probably don't need that extra back. If there were 2 outs, runners in first and third, yeah, I love it because I don't know about if I love it, but like, I like to get that guy in scoring position. But with 1 out, you've got a chance for a big inning. You've got a big bat at the plate. Vahiva does have a pretty good feel for stealing bases. Obviously, there he was going first move against a lefty. I think that's the first time he's been caught stealing in his career at Arkansas. I'm not crazy about it. I'm not like freaking out about it, but I think Arkansas in this situation, if it's bottom of the lineup, 2 outs, sure, I'm a little bit more open to it. But I was not super into that. Oh, Bernardale's hit by a pitch. Okay, so I believe that would bring Kahio Aloy to the dish. Can he avenge his brother, who's tagged out at second? Let's see. Yeah, no, I agree with Megan here. She says if there are 2 outs and further into the count to make room, maybe that was just not a great idea. Yeah, like 1, 2, 2 out. Maybe you got your 7 hole. Maybe you got your 8th hitter in the lineup. Okay, but I just feel like that took what could have been a big inning and probably killed it a little bit. Although Kahio Aloy might have something to say about that. So that's now 20 pitches in this first inning for Robinson. I don't know what the pitching plan is going to look like for Grambling today. It could be a little mixture of everybody. We might see that 64 mile an hour curveball guy. Oof, fouls one back. I'm starting to see miles per hour back there. I just saw an 84 pop up. I would appreciate that. I hate watching these games blind without TrackMan, without a stadium gun, without anything. Oh, man. If y'all don't mind me asking, I want to know how you guys are consuming this product right now. Is anybody like at work watching this? Or are y'all just like work from home guys or just home for the day or whatever? Or, in between something, sitting in your car maybe? I want to know how you guys are consuming this product. And do you have it you have game on the TV, me on the phone? Kyle says he works from home. Ryan McDaniel says he's at work. We got a few. We got a lot of workers. A lot of people that are at work. Okay, 2-2 count to Cahillo. A lot of work from homes. Steve is retired. That's what we love to see. I appreciate Steve being retired and still being able to consume this product, because anytime I try to talk to anyone from my family who's over the age of 35, they act like I'm crazy. Where they're like, YouTube, how do I work that on my phone? And I'm just like, come on. It's really not that hard. All right, it's gone full to Cahillo, and he has walked. I said this opening weekend, and I'm going to say it again. If Cahillo Aloy is going to take his walks, I just don't see how he's not in the lineup all the time. He's definitely still going to strike out. He's going to be boom or bust a little bit, but it's one thing if you're getting walked and you have a power threat, it's really hard for that OPS to be low. And so even if he's not necessarily hitting, he might end up only hitting 250, 260 or something like that. But if he's getting walked a good bit and he's slugging over 500, it's going to be hard to keep that guy out of there. Rocco Pepe's up at the dish now. Rocco Pepe, you want to talk about a guy Arkansas needs to get going. Would certainly love to see him get loose here a little bit. Okay, 2-0 count to him. Another 84 mile an hour pop up on. I've only seen the mile per hour twice. How do y'all feel about black baseball pants? Because I'm not a fan, if I'm being honest with you. I just want the record to show I'm not wavering on Souza for sure, but I'm also not wavering on Rocco Pepe, who just has a base hit. It looks like I couldn't tell if that ball was caught or not. The sun was kind of throwing it off there, but Rocco Pepe, it looks like he just drove in two with a 2-run single. So that's big time. Good for Rocco Pepe, man. He needed that. I definitely want to see an exit velocity on that. Seemed like he hit it pretty hard. All right, so Arkansas takes a 2-0 lead in this one in the bottom of the first. Let's see it again. Boom. Yeah, that ball's hit pretty well. And now it's Nolan Souza at the dish. Another guy Arkansas would certainly like to get going a little bit. Grounds one to the third baseman. Thought for sure, off the bat, I was like, oh yeah, that one's gonna get through. Try to go Oppo there. Okay. So we'll have to wait a couple innings for the Nolan Souza breakout. But Arkansas is up 2-0. And Dalton Holyfield says, run rule in play today. Yes, it should be. I mean, it has been typically. It's definitely for SEC games always in play. I assume the coaches came to an agreement, whether that be 10 after 7 or something like that. But yes, I think it would be in play. I think Arkansas run ruled them in this same spot last year. Shout out to Dabbing Rhino. Drops us a super chat, $5. Says, can't wait to see how he hit when it warms up. Well, we got some warmth out there today. And so 2 runs to start. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Yeah, big time. Appreciate the super chat for real, Dabbing Rhino, who's always he's been killing it in the chat here lately. Yeah, I see people responding to the black pants inquiry. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, and I bet when it's in July or June, Could be tough. So I just got a weird text from Curtis Wilkerson, who probably will not be joining us on the watch party today. He's working on some things for Pod Palace that I think will intrigue a lot of you guys. I can't confirm or deny whether it's good news or not, but I think it will intrigue you guys. Doesn't sound like great news, if I'm being honest with you. Let's see. What's the chat up to today? Dalton wants to know if I'm a Ole Miss baby blue uniforms fan. I got to be honest. I am. I definitely do like the baby blues. Those are good uniforms. I was a little nervous when they wore them in 2019 when they got hot. Arkansas faced them in the supers, and they just I think they got to a point where they just wore the baby blues every single game. Those are a good uniform. And I'm typically not a guy who likes anything other than white or gray or pinstripe pants, but those baby blues are pretty solid. Steve wants to know any news on Gage. So yes, it is shoulder impingement is what the MRI yesterday confirmed. DVH says it should take them a few weeks to get him going, but don't expect to see Gage Wood this weekend, and I would definitely not expect him for the next couple weeks. And so when I did a quick Google search on shoulder impingement, it basically says the rehab for it is PT and rest. So don't expect him to be throwing a ball anytime soon in the next couple weeks, and then we'll see what that looks like, what that timeline is like. Luckily for Arkansas, they have a guy able to slot right into that weekend rotation in Landon Beidelshees. So Landon Beidelshees, I hope you enjoyed your one weekend out of the rotation. You're right back in, kid. Ultimately, Arkansas has plenty of arms to make it work in his absence. The key is just getting Gage Wood healthy and making sure you get the best version of him possible down the stretch. And so hopefully they rest him a little bit. And yeah, Megan, I don't know what Megan's medical background is, but I'm going to trust her word. She says basically rotator cuff tendonitis. That sounds about right. In my 20 seconds of research, that's what I basically figured out. And so, yeah. Let's see. Kingsley says, have you thought about a special edition uniform set for the Hogs yet? Like the Mardi Gras Tulane joints. Yeah, those Mardi Gras ones for Tulane are cool, man. And I feel like every Louisiana team, or at least a lot of them, have, not LSU, but most of them, the Pelicans used to wear these Mardi Gras uniforms that were awesome. Yeah, it is all. Anytime you do something like that, that's specific to your region and stuff like that, it's always cool. The only thing I could really think of, and I think some other people have came to this conclusion as well, anything involving a diamond would maybe work for Arkansas. The natural state, the diamond's the whole thing. It's on the license plate, but I don't know how you do that and make it look cool. And I also don't know how you do that without incorporating non-school colors. It's a little bit tough to do, but luckily Arkansas, when it comes to baseball uniforms, that is not something that they're lacking or something that they're behind in. So I don't know how to make that work necessarily. Did y'all like whenever football did those 1964 throwbacks? I thought those were cool as a one-off thing. Hogzilla says Arkansas should do duck gumbo unis. We'll take it. Get some Wright's barbecue jerseys. What's up with that? Y'all like that? Dalton says all gold unis for cancer awareness. And the SET says need a bike blues and barbecues theme jersey. Get Dana White to foot the bill for that one. That'd be good. Okay. It looks like I missed Ben Bybee issuing something. Was that a walk? Yeah, it looks like he ran the count full, issued a walk. I got so distracted by the chat. I was just having a great time. Again, we'll see how long Bybee goes in this game. I'm thinking you're thinking maybe 1-2 innings more max. Okay. And a stolen base. Helfrick threw out a couple guys opening weekend, but he's gone through a stretch here of not throwing dudes out. I didn't get a good look at that one to see if that was maybe on Bybee or if he should have been holding them on better. Most of the time that's been this year, the times when they haven't thrown a guy out, I felt like that they probably should have done a better job of holding the guy on Like a lot of them, Helfrick really didn't have a chance. As by the way, there was a ground out there. Ground ball moves the runner to third base with one out. So a little bit of a hairy situation here for Bobby to work out of. We'll see if he can strand that runner over there. Caden says Helfrick couldn't throw out my grandma. Helfrick doesn't. He has I would say an above average throwing arm. Again, I agree with Addison's assessment here. I don't think the pitchers have given him a chance. Pretty much anytime they've given him a chance, he's either thrown the guy out or at least had it close. And again, I think that's really something that comes down to holding guys on. Like I think Arkansas definitely could be a lot better in that regard. And that's something that, some of these younger guys, we kind of wonder, why don't you have a bigger role for them? A lot of times they have to figure that out a little bit. Bum, bum, bum. All righty. Quick 0-2 count. We'll see if Bobby gets a huge punch out. He needs one here. That's a big lad coaching third. Throws a fastball, dick, in an 0-2 count, and guy fouls it off. I think we could let's go with a different location for this next 0-2 pitch if you want my advice. Good Lord. Yeah, see, that wasn't bad location there, that 84 mile an hour. Looked like maybe a slider, maybe a changeup. Ooh, good pick there from Helfrick. Probably saved him a run. That was dangerous. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who all throws today. I would assume Aiden Jimenez is probably the one that I'm like, I would be stunned if he didn't throw. I know some people I'd love to see, maybe Wiggins get in there. He threw 12 pitches on Sunday. Would love to see him get a bounce back inning. Oof. Ball absolutely smoked up the middle. Another fastball that just caught a lot of the plate. Hit very well. And now Grambling is on the board. It is a 2-1 game. Well, by the way, this actually is a good time to bring it up as we watch Ben Bibee throw now. I got an updated circle of trust for you guys. I want your thoughts. And really, it's not that much of an update. One, I guess I should probably update it even more for the Gage Wood because he is not going to be pitching for the next few weeks here. But I moved Tate McGuire into he has his full name in there now in the mid to long relief righties. And you see Bibee, Jimenez, McIntyre. I feel like combining those guys into one spot is a cop-out, of course, but I feel like it makes sense because I think on any given weekend, you probably have room for one of those guys to give you real innings in like an actual high-leverage spot. We saw McIntyre throw twice this past weekend. Wasn't crazy about that. I think McIntyre can help them a lot, but I don't necessarily – I really don't like the idea of doing, back-to-back outings for him there. Oh. While I'm over here rambling, Arkansas gets a double play and gets out of the inning. So good to see that for the Hogs. That we'll see if that concludes Ben Bibee's day. Where's he at pitch count wise? Getting up around 40. Not that pitch count really matters that much in this situation, but if he's a guy that you're potentially going to use on the weekend, you don't want him throwing too much. Okay. So now Arkansas comes back to the plate, bottom second. We'll see if they can add to their lead. Okay, let's see what the chat's got going here. Sharkansas says this Grambling team looks quite a bit more athletic than last year. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember much. I just remember the game got out of hand. I remember Arkansas winning pretty handily because they just really didn't have many arms. But yeah, they look pretty solid, man. Grambling's had some decent offensive teams. Yeah. Right, Davin Rhino says no dicks on 0-2. I mean, yeah, just cannot go dick on 0-2. And then he came back and went dick on 2-2 and gave up the base hit. Ryan McDaniel says Bibee has been as sharp as a ball bearing, which I guess isn't that sharp. Interesting. Okay. American Lee says, that's okay. Just more runs we can score before we run roll these guys. There's the right way to look at this. That's the right way to look at this. Sharkansas says McIntyre still in there as suspect. Well, he doesn't have a spot confirmed. He's kind of in that mix. I think between him and Bybee, who's, I wouldn't say certainly locking down his spot necessarily, and Jimenez, I feel like between those three guys, there's room for one of them. And so I kind of lump them all together. And again, I've like I've been saying from the jump, it's less my opinion on these things and more just how they're doing things. And so Will McIntyre is a guy that we can argue about whether or not he needs to have a role. But I mean, he threw twice this past weekend, one of which came in a very high leverage situation. So yeah, I think that he's clearly like in that mix. I don't have him definitively in there, but he's going to get his opportunities for sure. And really ultimately, like, not all of these guys are going to pitch every single weekend, but he's definitely on that radar, and we'll see how long. We'll see someone's got to replace him. So if you're not going to pitch McIntyre, well, then you're probably going to have to pitch either Bybee or Jimenez, and we'll see how Jimenez looks when he gets in there today. Jeremy Wilson says, you think K. Aloy could play first? I like Pepe, but I feel like he's too short. So here's the thing. And again, I think people, a lot of times we forget about this. The reason that Pepe is at first base is because the coaching staff doesn't think Cahillo can play first base. That's not my opinion. That's how it played out. They played Cahillo Aloy at first base in the fall. I came out of the fall saying I thought he was the front runner to start at first base. They thought otherwise. They thought, okay, we actually like his defense maybe better in the outfield, so we're going to try and prep him for that. But really, he's a DH option. And so that's kind of how they view it. They changed their mind. I don't know. I actually do agree with their assessment that he's probably better served in the outfield because he came to college as a pitcher. He's got a really good arm. He's a pretty good athlete as well. So it's like, I think it kind of makes sense. And professionally, if he's going to play pro ball, it's probably going to be the route they go. Will they go back on their word and maybe try and get him there at first base? I don't know. Ultimately, I think Cam Kojal is kind of the right answer here. And I know he's short, but Arkansas's had several short first basemen. We've talked about that before. I mean, Clark Egan, Trevor Ezell, Peyton Stovall. Those are three of the better first basemen Arkansas's had in the last decade, and they're all like 5'8". So I think Pepe, the reason I don't like him at first is not because he's short, it's because he doesn't look super comfortable there. But I think Kojal looks pretty solid there. I think he's probably, unless something changes, probably going to be the everyday guy for the most part. And he also wanted to know about Gage Wood update. Yeah, shoulder impingement. He'll be out definitely this week and probably the next few weeks, and we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how his recovery looks, but do not expect to see him in the next couple weeks. But no surgery as of right now, which is good. But I also don't think we're out of the wood. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one of those things we're going to have to continue to keep monitoring a little bit. Helfrick goes down swinging at a ball in the dirt, makes the throw to first. Yeah, man, they really need to get Helfrick going. Who also, by the way, had some decent swings in Arlington. He had a couple balls that were just hit right on the screws. He had like 109 mile an hour fly out to deep center. That probably gets out of most SEC parks. I feel like he hadn't been swinging it too bad, but I think that's part of why they started him here, is to try and get that bat jolted a little bit. And here comes the fan favorite, Justin Thomas, who's quickly up 2-0. Let's make it 3-0. Did it hit him? No. Also, just yell at me if my stream gets like super far behind. I refresh it every now and then, but I hope I'm not just talking about, I hope that there's not like 3 batters ahead. Okay, 3-1. Also, this is a new pitcher for Grambling, so they might be doing the every other inning. Now they got a righty up in there. All righty, Justin Thomas rips one down the third base line, gets by the guy, third baseman. He's got 2, got his eye on 3. He's going to stick with 2. Probably a smart decision. Good swing for Justin Thomas, who continues to just get on base, hit the ball pretty hard. I tell you, anytime he makes contact, it's hard contact. He's going to have his fair share of strikeouts throughout the year, just like all these guys are, but he makes some good contact. Let's see. David says Jimenez and Root are his two new faves. Yeah, I mean Root certainly is that guy. Jimenez is interesting. I'm excited to see him throw today. See how he looks. American Lee says Cole Gibbler's filthy, but needs to polish that off-speed pitch. Going to be a good one. Weirdly enough, I feel like he needs to polish up his fastball command. His off-speed pitch was cooking the other day. I think that's where he got all three of his punch outs, but just kind of the command was a little bit iffy. Was getting behind in the count, but that slider's like a plus pitch. Big time stuff there. Brian says, play the game in the mirror so you can show the game on here. I've thought about doing weird things or like maybe putting it in like a little small box or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it with the YouTube algorithm. I don't want to risk it with the YouTube revenue for sure. I'm trying to make money. The Frenchman is up to bat. He's up 2-1 in the count now. SCT wants to know if Wiggins is going to throw today. I don't know that for sure. I would like to see him throw, even if it's just one inning. Just kind of get him some positive vibes there. But he's also a guy that they're going to use on the weekend, so I don't expect him to throw too much. Ryan Bryant says, put Felder in. I hope Felder throws today. I would love to see Felder throw. He looked really good in the spring leading up to the season. And I'd expect there's going to be at least one freshman that makes their debut today. Steele Eves has gotten up in the bullpen multiple times in the first couple of weeks. So that's clearly a guy that they want to get in. I'd expect him to maybe be the first freshman to throw. But we shall see. We shall see. Logan says Ryder is the foul ball home run derby champion. No, truly. He had probably at least 3 foul ball home runs this past weekend. He definitely has his fair share where he'll just get like a slider that he's way out in front of and hit it 420 feet. Okay, so a walk to Davalon brings up the reigning SEC player of the week, Vahiva Loy. Y'all remember this time? Okay, I feel like I like nobody remembers that this time last year everybody was shitting on Vahiva Lloyd. Do y'all remember that when he was like 2 for 20 and everybody was freaking out? Nobody ever remembers that. They don't remember that everybody hated Caleb Calley for a week. Nobody remembers that they hated Peyton Stowall for a year. Drew Bynum has a good question here. I'm going to wait until I finish this. I'm going to wait and see this pitch real quick. Okay, 2-1. He wants to know if Vahiva is going to play shortstop at the next level. So you are wondering this, and you know who else is wondering this? A lot of scouts. And so I think it's a fair question. I think there's a good chance. I think he's definitely going to stay in the infield. I don't think he's the type of guy that like you would like move to. Oh, he hit one pretty hard at the shortstop, but it looks like it's going to be not a double play because we'll bobble there at first base. Will not go down as an error because you can't assume a double play. So first and third, 2 out. I don't think Vahiva's ever going to like play outfield because weirdly enough, like he's got like average speed, I would say, but he's not like a Casey Martin type of guy where it's like, oh, if all else fails, you just throw him out there and he's going to be a great athlete. I could see Vahiva at pretty much any of the infield spots if I'm being honest with you. Like second base makes sense. He's obviously got some decently quick hands. He's not a like great side to side athlete necessarily, but when he gets there to a ball, he usually makes it, puts a good glove on it, makes a good play, has pretty fast hands there in the middle. I feel like he's a guy that could play second base if all else fails. I could see him. And I think if you really, really get crazy and you just want to get his bat in the lineup, I could see him playing first base. The problem is if he's playing first base, he really has to be like a top-notch, consistent hitter that hits for plus power. And of course, he's got power. He seems like he's going to be able to hit. But I think like if he could stick at shortstop or second base, that would really allow him to be the boomer bust guy that he is at the plate. Logan Maxwell goes down 0-2 there. I see some people saying that I'm ahead, so hopefully that doesn't hopefully I'm not spoiling too much crazy stuff for y'all. Logan Maxwell hits one well, and it's foul. That looked exciting for a second there. Oh man, once again, appreciate everybody for being here on this this beautiful Baumbastic watch along. We're gonna do more of these, man, if this continues to be a resounding success. Then Logan Maxwell grounds one to second, makes the easy throw over there. All right, inning ends. No runs for Arkansas. They leave a couple stranded. So we head to the third inning. Arkansas is up 2-1. Let me see if I can get this score a little bit better. I need to quit scrolling down. I keep forgetting that I'm sharing the screen. So when I scroll, it also scrolls there. But let's get into this chat and see what everybody's got to say. Dalton says the new pitcher is a VMI transfer. I will take his word for it. And he pitched okay. Got some outs. Sharkansas says Justin Thomas's approach has kind of got the Stan Musial just hit the ball hard vibes. That is the goal. Yeah, definitely is. Ryan McDaniel says the Dixon Street Discord is probably streaming it. They are definitely streaming it, or at least last I heard they were. I haven't checked. Actually, my guy Logan says can confirm the Dixon Discord is streaming. Yes, as they streamed over the weekend. So I know a lot of people were able to watch these past weekend. They didn't want to buy Flow Sports. Everyone should be a part of the Dixon Street Discord. American Lee says, I hope Helfrick gets going soon, but we might see Becker soon. Kid can hit. Yeah, I mean, you definitely we're definitely going to see Becker soon, whether that's midweeks. He's going to start probably one game on the weekend, a lot of weekends this year, especially when there's double headers and stuff like that. But let's just relax, okay? I know everyone always does a thing where a guy goes through a slump, and it's like, hey, let's just bench him. And I get why, but let's just let's pump the brakes a little bit, okay? Let's see. SET says he thinks we're more likely to see Becker at DH than overtaking Ryder behind the plate. This actually isn't crazy, honestly. I've wondered if either of those guys might want to play first base, maybe get in there. But yeah, Becker's definitely a threat at the plate. And again, same thing with last year. This time last year, again, I know I bring this up a lot. We were all hating on Vahiva Aloy this time last year. We were all also saying, and I say you were all saying bench Hudson White and put in Ryder Helfrick. So the shiny new toy is always the one that we want to play all the time. But I said the same thing I said last year. I'm going to say it this year. The list of starting catchers in the SEC that have been true freshmen and been good, it's pretty low. It's pretty hard to catch every day in the SEC and be effective defensively and offensively. You can usually get a guy that can maybe do one or the other. It's really hard to be a good, well-rounded catcher in the SEC as a true freshman. I'm not saying that Becker can't do it, but the idea that that's the obvious, oh yeah, just bench this top 3 round prospect and let's relax. Shout out to John Neighbors. This is from 2009, John Neighbors with the picture there, but he says, he gives us a super chat for the bombastic effort from Andrew. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to John Neighbors. We appreciate your support, man. Let's see. SCT says Braden Webb had to fight a hot dog cart to find his swing. Yeah, he ended up not finding it until it was even, it's funny. I think it was either Grambling or Pine Bluff. It might have been Pine Bluff, where he hit his first hit in 2022 was an opposite field home run against a guy throwing a 65-mile-an-hour curveball. That was his first hit. He started off over 24 and then finally gets a hit, and it was a home run to the other side. And that's what got him going. So sometimes in these games, that's all it takes, man. All it takes is you just got to see one go through the net, and then all of a sudden you're off. But Braden Webb is another one that was on this list of guys that everybody hated and was like, why does this guy in the lineup bench him, put in Zach Gregory? That was a real thing people said back in the day. Bench Braden Webb and put in Zach Gregory. That was a real thing. I can go pull the receipts if we need. But again, we do this every single year where 2 weeks in, everyone's decided who they hate and who's great. And then Sharkansas says that he thinks Aloy's a third baseman. I could see him playing third base. He kind of looks like a third baseman. And I feel like that's kind of a good spot for him. He's got a good throwing arm, a strong arm, could probably make the throw. I really could see the case for anywhere in the infield. I also won't rule out him sticking at shortstop. He made 2 errors the other day, but for the most part, he's been pretty consistent at making plays on balls once he gets to them. Who? By the way, I've been yapping this whole time, but it looks like Ivy is not quite out of the inning. It's a foul ball. Looks like this is his best inning of work so far. He's got 2 quick outs, and now he's down or up 0-2 on the next guy. Pitch count at 46 right now, so we'll see again how much longer he would go. I would imagine if he can get this out right here, I think you probably call it a day. If it's me, and I'd get some other guys in there. It's weird that, like I say, they just showed 92 there with the fastball. It's like every 7th pitch they just randomly decide to give us the speed. See, like that one? No reading on that. Oh, damn. I refreshed my stream and it was gone. But it looks like he got a ground out to third base. So a pop up on the first pitch, a strikeout, and a ground out is all for Grambling in the top of the third. So we go to the bottom of the third. Big KG says we need to figure out someone to replace Pepe at first base. I feel like it's kind of already been figured out. I feel like it's Cam Kojal. Are we not all in agreement? That's the guy. It's a midweek game, and so I think they're trying to get Pepe going at the plate, so they're giving him a start. He only played once this weekend, and he got pinch hit for in that game. But I feel like we've kind of I don't feel like first base is as much of a question mark. I feel like Cam Kojal did a good job filling in. He's definitely going to be, starting this weekend. I feel like that's where he's going to start at, but who knows? We shall see. And Dabbing Rhino says, "Hey, Andrew, did you switch to Cox or are you on the hotspot again?" So I have not switched. I'm switching to Cox. It'll be tomorrow. They're coming in to make sure everything's good. But no, I had to do the hotspot yesterday during the show. I decided to let Ozarks go ride today, and they made me look like a moron while we had Carlton on. Had me cutting in and out then. I don't know. I haven't heard any complaints, but I'm sure this has had its fair share of buffers here and there. Sucks, man. It just sucks. I see people talking about Grambling being an HBCU for whatever. Interesting. Greg Tucker wants to know, where is Jalen Battles these days? Speaking of smooth shortstops, last I checked, he's still in the Rays system. I think he got up to AA last year and maybe even actually had a stint in AAA. That's a lie. He did not have a stint in AAA. Yeah, he played 76 games at the AA level last year. Hit 229, 1 home run. Definitely, obviously, more of a defender. So we'll see where he ends up. But he's definitely in that mix to, in the next year or so, you might see him make a big league debut. He's a guy that with his defense is always going to be, a guy if someone's banged up and you need someone to play for a weekend, you could do a lot worse than having shortstop like that play. All right, we're going to see some Arkansas runs here. We got Brent Iredale at the plate. Arkansas should put up a 6 spot right here. They really do not need to mess around. And Brent Iredale gets them off with a nice piece of hitting to start. Let's see. Nice little base hit. And I know what's going to happen next. Let's see. Y'all quit beefing about whether or not Grambling is a historically black college. I see people bitching in the chat. Scalise, a legend of the chat, says, we ain't hit great this past 2 years. We still won the West last year. I can guarantee Arkansas will not win the West this year because there is no more West. But, yeah, that's what's so funny is as much as we complain about the offense, which we have and we will continue to do, Arkansas needs to be better offensively. No doubt about that. Even if Arkansas is doesn't improve much at all at the plate, they're still going to win a ton of games. Let's not get it twisted, but yeah, would definitely love to see them have a little bit more of that dog in the plate. And I still ultimately think they're going to be improved. I'm just less optimistic about how much that improvement will be. Kahio Aloy smokes one through the left side, which, by the way, that was against a righty, right? We do have a righty on the bump. I'm not just making this up, right? It's still the same guy from last inning. So 2 base hits to start the inning. Brent Iredale, of course, stole second base. I spoiled that for myself on the stat broadcast. And then you got first and third with nobody out for, I believe, Rocco Pepe back up at the dish. And Kahio Aloy just is addicted to hitting balls very, very hard. That was another one that I would imagine had a over 100 exit velocity. Rocco Pepe has Arkansas's 2 RBIs, had a base hit with the bases loaded that drove in a couple runs. Good to see that. It's funny. It's crazy that I had Rocco Pepe pegged as like a guy that would be a fan favorite because of his personality, his attitude, and just kind of how he approaches the game. And to say he is a fan favorite, to say he is not a fan favorite would be an understatement. People really, really do not like Rocco Pepe. Okay. Still first and third, couple throwovers to Kahio, who I don't think is stealing. Rocco Pepe with another base hit that will score a run. So now it is a 3-1 game for the Arkansas Razorbacks. 3 straight singles to start the third inning. It's what you love to see, man. It's what you love to see. No gorilla balls so far. Been all station to station base hitting. And with a steal from Brenner Iredale mixed in there. This is the small ball. They're showing a little graphic here of the close matchups. There have definitely been some close games in this series. Last year was not one of them. Oh man. Anytime I see the date 2016 in the baseball context, it makes me cringe a little bit. Nolan Souza squaring around a bunt. I'm going to be very upset if Nolan Souza doesn't get a hit today. I'm going to be quite depressed. Still got him squaring a bunt. I really don't want to do that. Like, I feel like you should just go ahead and score like 8 runs this inning instead of bunting a guy over, trying to, especially like, because if you're playing Nolan Souza, you're trying to get him going. I don't know how much bunting right now is going to really, what's that's going to do for his confidence. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. It looks like they're going to walk him. He's 3-0 now. A little take there. Okay, 3-1. Let him swing it. Just let him swing it. Come on, Dave. I see John Neighbors behind home plate. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I see John Neighbors. Do y'all see John Neighbors? I feel like Dora the Explorer whenever I talk to y'all. Okay. Nolan Souza draws a walk. So suck it, haters. That'll shut them up. All right. So bases juiced for the Hogs. Nobody out. This pitcher had a nice inning last inning. Got stranded a couple, got out of there unscathed. He's given up 1 so far, and the beer hats are on. Ryder Helfrick at the plate, another fan favorite. Skies one to center. Looks like that will score a run. Okay, so it's 4-1 now as Aloy comes home to score. First and second, 1 out. Okay, and so with Helfrick now, that would put Justin Thomas up at the plate. Let's see. I see people are saying 111. What is that? Is that for Cahillo? I'm assuming. I'm just now catching up. By the way, now that Rocco Pepe has a couple hits, is he out of the doghouse now? Are we going to yell if he gets in the lineup? I still think Kojal is kind of the guy that makes sense there at first base. But hell, if Nolan Souza doesn't hit, maybe you just do Kojal at second, Pepe at first. Although I still think there's a little bit of an issue there defensively. Justin Thomas bunts one in the air. Why are they bunting first and second with one out? I mean, maybe that was just him making that decision, going to try and catch the third baseman napping, but like, I don't know, man. This the shit y'all like to watch? This what y'all like? I kid for the most part, but I really strongly disagree with the decision making there. And Charles Davallon is up at the plate. Boy, that stance is open. He grounds one to second base, and he is out. Charles Davallon's swing looks a lot like Robert Moore. Like a lot like Robert Moore. Alex Edens, appreciate you for the super chat, man. Appreciate your support always, man. I always see you tapped in and participating and supporting the show. Appreciate the live. He says, got my tickets for the Dickie Stevens game and I'm excited to see the Hogs in action. Yeah, I'm planning to be down there for that one as well. Looking forward to that one, man. That's always a fun time. Always a fun game to go to. Yeah, that's always when you know it's like really baseball season because basketball's over by that point. You know, got portal stuff going on, but that's usually about when people start getting into baseball. And it's always a good little atmosphere down there in Dickie Stevens. I had a good time a couple of years ago. I guess it was 2023. They played in Springfield against Missouri State in a midweek game, and I got to go cover that one. That was a fun one. I hope they do that again soon. That was fun. Dabbing Rhino says that was a call from the dugout on the. I'm guessing that's the Souza one. American Lee says Pepe's still hitting 150, but I am proud to see him 2 for 2. Yeah, again, and I just don't think anybody should be like citing stats, not like at all, but I just mean like because like they're going to change so much. Like Justin Thomas got a hit and his batting average went from 235 to 278, and then now he's out and it's back down to 250. You know, it's like these things are going to fluctuate. Like even Nolan Souza, as bad as he's been, if he's 3 for 3 the rest of the way, he's going to be hitting like 250. Like it's always going to kind of come in bunches like that. You're kind of one good game away. You kind of need to just let it play out a little bit. Okay. American Lee says Colin Fisher's coming in. I don't have a game pulled up real quick. Is that accurate? Would love to see Colin Fisher throw a little bit. Now he threw Sunday, and I think it was just 1 inning, so I don't think he's going to throw a ton here. You know, maybe 2 innings at most. And frankly, he's a guy that I think you're going to use on the weekend. So I definitely don't want to see them max him out too crazy here. But it'd be nice to see him get his feet wet a little bit. He threw really well on Sunday in that 1 inning of work, struck out a couple. He's one of those guys that's just like a really advanced feel for command, throwing strikes, just mixes speeds. Like definitely not your average true sophomore. And first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Big tuna on the bump. And there's his numbers from last year. Good stuff. Swing and miss on the breaking ball. Yeah, man, this Arkansas team, they've just got a lot of left-handed pitchers. Like there's been years where it's like tough to find 2 guys. Strike 3. Man, what does Pitching Ninja call that? The White Castle special 3 sliders? Although those are really curveballs, but you know, we'll go with it. Just 3 breaking balls. Go sit down. Good to see. But yeah, I mean, you think about it. Root and Beidelshe's both kind of in the weekend rotation now this weekend. And then you got, of course, Parker Coyle, who's made like 7 appearances already for Arkansas. He's going to make a ton more. Colin Fisher is definitely going to make some appearances on the weekend. Cole Gibbler is probably arguably their best freshman arm. Although I do think Carson Wiggins is going to have better days. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of left-handed arms on this team, and then Hunter Dietz is kind of the dragon that we're waiting on. We'll see what his timeline ends up being, but man, if you're able to get Hunter Dietz back and get him going, and you face a team that struggles against lefties, and you're able to throw like Reuter Beidelshees at them, throw Coyle for an inning, throw Fisher for an inning, throw Dietz for an inning, throw Gibbler for an inning, like that's hell, man. That's hell. Ground ball to short. That'll do. A rare 3-ball count for Colin Fisher there. I like the pace of this game so far. I'm knocking on wood as I'm saying that. If Arkansas is able to end up scoring enough to get a run rule, which I think they should, right? I mean, I think we can all agree we'd be a little disappointed if this game ended up like 6-2, right? That'd be a little bit disappointing. Well located fastball, strike one. Another thing I would love about Dietz is, I just listed off all those lefties there. If you get Dietz in there, then you really have like a full staff full of arsenal, like completely different arsenals to throw at them. Like Fisher and Coyle both, not exactly the same guy, but they're both in that like 90, 91 range. We'll mix it with a breaking ball, mix speeds, throw a ton of strikes as Rocco Pepe fields a pop out in foul territory there. But then you have a guy like Root who has like a very unique arsenal that really just not many people have with the fastball, the cutter, slider, changeup. And then Beidelshees throws that little frisbee slider. He's more in that like 92, 94 range. Him and Root, similar fastball. And then you have a guy waiting in the wings like Dietz, who's like 96 to 98. I mean, it's just those are different. It's one thing to throw a bunch of lefties at teams, but to be able to throw different types of lefties is big time. People are saying that Ozark Go is sucking it up, which if it is, I apologize. Let's see. Appreciate everybody for being here, man. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't know if I had the link, but I want to remind you guys to tap in with our merch. This is the last day, I believe, that you can pre-order it. If you want to check on John's Twitter, he has it. I'm about to retweet it right now as we speak. I'm gonna go find this sucker real quick. I saw Ryan McDaniel was asking about the Baumbastic T-shirt, the Baumbastic hat. Yeah, go get you some merch. I'm about to quote tweet it right now. Let's see. So everyone go check the tweet I just sent right now, and it will below it has a link. Or I'll just read you the website right now if you're on your laptop. InsideArkansas.myshopify.com. That is myshopify.com. InsideArkansas.myshopify.com. That'll take you right to our online store. You can get the Pot at the Palace hoodie, the Baumbastic hat, the Baumbastic shirt, or you can just get the Inside Arkansas shirt. Big time stuff. Okay. So who we got up now at the dish? It was Davalon, I think, was the last guy out. So we should have Aloy, 2, 3, 4 up. Aloy, Maxwell, Iredale. All right, let's go. It's time to open up a can of whip ass on these guys. Like just quit messing around. They got a lefty on the bump now. At some point, they're going to have to throw some guy that throws a 65-mile-an-hour curveball, right? Fastball strike one to Vahiva. Don't think this is the 65-mile-an-hour curveball guy. American Lee says Pepe's updated batting average is 200, 3 for 15. Okay. Again, like, and Pepe's been struggling, obviously. They need to get him going, but like, I wouldn't like use that as like a reason why he shouldn't play, especially when he's got 4 years of a much, much larger sample size. Pepe's also a guy who led the team in OPS during the offseason between fall and spring scrimmages. And even that is a much larger sample size than the 15 at-bats through 7 or 8 games or whatever it's been this season. I'm not saying he should definitely play every day no matter what, but I think he's a guy who has definitely earned a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, at least in my humble opinion. I missed it on the stream, but apparently Fayetteville Loy single to center. Oh, we got a replay right here. Fayetteville Loy, man. I don't even think that pitch was in the zone. I think it was a breaking ball low and away, and he just went out and got it on a 2-2 count. Yeah, that pitch is not in the strike zone. But, you know, got to do what you got to do sometime on 2-2. DVH is talking a little bit. I don't know what that combo was about. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Ball 1 to Logan Maxwell. Yeah, see, like Logan Maxwell's hitting 133 right now. Did they also bench him, even though he hit 300 back-to-back years at TCU? Like, it's impossible to bench all of these guys, frankly. Like, you simply cannot bench Souza, Maxwell, Pepe, and Diggs, which are the 4 guys that everybody every single game asks to bench. Oh, DVH apparently was mad about the guy throwing his glove at the ball, which you were not allowed to do. Back-to-back balks? Is that what just happened? So Fayetteville Loy is now at third base after a base hit on a ball not in the strike zone. Then a balk gets him to second base. And then before the guy even comes set, a balk gets him to third base. Not every day you see that. Interesting. Sharkensaw says he got in trouble by an umpire in high school for doing the same thing. Yep, not allowed to do that. I didn't even notice when it happened live. I did not notice the glove throwing. According to Dalton Holyfield, this is a JUCO transfer pitcher here. Okay, we'll see if the mound visit settles the lad in. I wonder what Maxwell's health is like. I mean, have they hit a ball to him in right field? Maybe 1 or 2. I don't remember. Logan Maxwell. And that one's going to get through. He gets a base hit through the right side. That'll drive home Fayetteville Loy to make it a 5-1 game. Arkansas is doing all their damage without hitting extra base hits. I think Justin Thomas's double is the only extra base hit so far, at least that I can remember. Like I said on Inside Arkansas Live today and on the stream yesterday, this is stat pad season. This is where Arkansas can get all those batting averages up a little bit. All right, now Brent Iredale back at the plate, hitting a crisp 400. Leading Arkansas on RBI, I believe, with 10. He's just good at baseball, if you ask me. In my humble opinion. I may have overhyped Nolan Souza, but I did not overhype Brent Iredale. I knew at least one of them was going to start completely horribly because that happens every year. So I'm happy that Brent Iredale at least decided to continue to be very good at baseball. Really throwing over there with Maxwell. I can't imagine they send Maxwell with him still coming back from a hamstring injury, but we'll We'll take the throwovers. Have y'all been pleased with the job that Hudson Polk's been doing coaching first base? I don't think anybody's been picked off under his watch. You just had a couple guys get caught stealing. Vahiva Aloy earlier. But I don't know if that blame goes to Hudson Polk, who homered in this game last year, if I remember correctly. Hit a grand slam in the first inning against Grambling. Okay, 2-0 to Iredale. Make it 3-0 to Iredale. I'll be honest, I don't know much about these Grambling arms, but I wonder if they're going to get, if like these are the good ones and it's going to get worse. I think that might be a possibility. Okay, 4-pitch walk to Brent Iredale. First and second, nobody out for Arkansas. Why don't you just start bunting here, folks? Shout out to Ghost444 for the super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, which game and inning did a Texas fan catch a foul ball and try to give it to an Arkansas fan, only for her to respond with the horns down gesture? I don't know. If anyone in the chat can help out, I don't remember the exact inning. I just remember that happening. But that was awesome. That was like probably the best moment of the weekend. That Texas fan was getting an earful every time they would show him on the stream or on the screen there. Yeah, can anyone in the chat help him out? I don't remember what inning that was. I don't even remember what game it was, if I'm being honest with you. Probably the I see a bunch of people now saying, "Oh, Andrew, you missed the super chat," which I did, but we went back and got it. I think it was the TCU game. I believe Sharkensaw is right. Okay, so Kahio Aloy back up. Can he add to his insanely hot start to the season against a lefty? Although he has a hit against a righty already today, it seems like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you throw him these days. Down 0-2 quickly. That sun's starting to get in a weird stretch there where I think it might be a little bit of an issue for the hitters, but only for the next like minute or so. Yeah, it's like right where it cuts off, like right at his eye line. That's a little bit tough. Stays alive. On as we would like to describe here on the show as a dick fastball on 0-2. You know, if Kahio Aloy and Vahiva Aloy were standing next to each other, I don't think I would ever guess that they were brothers necessarily. Just very different builds. They look different in the face. They sound different. Okay. 1-2 count. And a throw over to Maxwell, and ball gets into center field. Oh, is he about to get thrown out at third? No. Didn't attempt. Okay. Runners move up 90 feet. They've thrown over with Maxwell like 5 times this inning, and I don't think he is a threat to steal at this point in time. I just don't think he is. But we shall see. Scalise says, I do like how much DVH incorporates his former players into coaching. You can see his journey from player to coach. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's cool to see it also because DVH himself was, of course, a player at Arkansas who then worked for the same coach who coached him at Arkansas. And so it is cool to see him pay it forward. I mean, we've seen Bobby Warnes be on staff. I'm trying to think. There was Jake Arledge was on staff that one year. DJ Baxendale still on staff at Arkansas after playing in the minors for a while. Bobby Warnes coaching third base. Yeah, you got 2 former players. You got a former player at first base, former player at third base. And it looks like Kahio Aloy fouled one right off of his foot. That did not look like it. That did not look like fun. Oof. And DVH is out there to check on him. It's one of those like you rarely see like a real injury happen on a foul off like that, but it just hurts like an MFer for like 2 minutes. And you just kind of have to like shake it off, walk it off. But I don't know. It looks like it might have got him in the knee. It's really bugging him. Are they going to pinch it for him? Ooh, got him like on the inside of the knee. Starting to bend it around a little bit. Okay. Looks like he's probably going to stay in. He's pleading his case to the trainer, Corey Wood. Mm-hmm. Out. Unbiased Brim, shout out to him checking in. Says easy win. Put the reserves in. It does look like we're approaching that territory for sure. Here quickly. And I imagine we're definitely going to see some reserves get in there. Definitely will see some young guys on the mound too. So Kehiolo's staying in there officially. Damn near got hit in that same spot. Yeah, would really like to see Arkansas put the foot on the throat here. Leave no doubt. Breaking ball up in the zone. Kehiolo rips it down the left field line. It's going to make it a 7-1 game. Easy double for Kehiolo, who, by the way, earlier in the game had his first non-extra base hit, his first single of the year. I think he's now up to 7 hits on the year, 6 of which have gone for extra bases. Dude's swinging it well, man. Yeah, get the break a ball just hung. That's probably another pretty hard exit velocity there. Yeah, Logan says Baby Eloy's going to be a fan favorite very soon. Certainly. He's definitely. I mean, he's well on his way. Hell, he's probably already there. Man, it's just crazy to see how it plays out because he was really good in the fall. I think he hit like 270 in the fall, but he tied Brent Iredale for the team lead in home runs. And then he comes back in the spring and just kind of wasn't ever the same. Went through a little bit of a slump there. I think he struck out a good bit. And he's definitely going to have his fair share of strikeouts. But it's crazy to see him start the year so hot because he was not hot going into the year, but just kind of how it is. Okay, Rocco Pepe pops one up. That'll get him back down below 200. So have to wonder if he's washed up. Okay. They're gonna let Souza swing it here against this lefty. Please do. Don't take him out against this this lefty. And weirdly enough, I think Nolan Souza's only hit on the year came against a lefty, if I'm not mistaken. Fouls off a fastball to start it. Fouls off another fastball. Quickly down 0-2. Man, when you're struggling and you're slumping at the plate, it feels like every count is an 0-2 count. And it just feels like it's one of those things that always happens when you're not at your most confident at the plate. It just seems like pitchers are always locating pitches against you. Takes one up, 1-2. There will be no joy in Mudville if Nolan Souza strikes out. Takes one low, 2-2. Hasn't seen a breaking ball yet this at-bat. I bet that changes right about now. And he gets one, and he swings through it. Strike 3. So 0 for 2 with the walk for Nolan Souza today in what was supposed to be his get-back game. And so, we were talking earlier about kind of what to do at first base. I think Nolan Souza struggling kind of clears the path to Rocco Pepe staying at first base, honestly, because I think Cam Kojal is going to be in there on Friday night no matter what, whether it's first or second or DH or whatever. And I feel like if Souza, with the way it's going, I think he's probably going to get another day off here. A day off is what we'll call it. Man. We're getting some Brett Dolan hate in the chat. Brett's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Y'all don't like the like kind of the Kermit-esque excitement that he shows. Ryder Helfrick swings through a breaking ball. Man. Yeah, Dolan used to be the Astros guy for a while. Honestly, I don't think Dolan's that bad. I think I will just say this, of Arkansas's commentary crew, I don't think he's the worst one. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna elaborate. I just don't think he is the worst one. If I were gonna replace someone in the booth, I don't think it would be him. Although I'm not saying he's like great. I don't think he's that bad. Is it like a voice thing that y'all don't like, or is it like does he do a bit that y'all don't like? Oh, Ryder Helfrick gets hit on the elbow pad, or I guess he's not wearing an elbow pad, so didn't get hit on it. He took that like a champ. Love to see that. Let's see. Uneasy Jufo Whoop says, are we going to see Cape Cod Helfrick this year? Yeah, it would certainly be nice. If he could just replicate literally the number. I think he ended up hitting like 260 with 11 home runs. Would certainly be nice. Haven't seen the power get going. He's hit a couple balls hard, but I'm surprised that he's gone this long without a home run so far. Hayden says, you're going to go see a game at the new Daikin Park in it's Houston. Houston's the Astros Park is no longer called Minute Maid, which is tough. I'll probably go see a game, but I'm not thrilled about it being called Daikin Park. That's just a tough one. It's just a tough one. Arkansas says he doesn't like the questions that he asks, treating the audience like idiots. Interesting. I honestly don't listen to the broadcast as much as I used to. So I don't know if I don't know if I'm even qualified to talk about this. I didn't realize that people didn't like Brett Dolan. I thought he was one that we were cool with. Yeah. Aiden Watson says he lives. Yeah, my brother lives there, and he's not thrilled about it. It's just tough because you can't even call it the juice box anymore. It's tough. Dave says Phil Elson. Now Phil's the man. Phil, hell, that would be the best way to do it, is to just have Phil's radio calls on TV. If we could have Phil's radio calls on TV, I think we would all be thrilled. Okay, Justin Thomas, did he draw a walk there? Yeah. Justin Thomas has been getting walked an insane amount to start this season. 7 walks today for the Grambling pitching staff. Arkansas is about one big swing away from really putting this on a firm run rule watch. I really don't want to see them mess around, so they're taking the lefty out. Yeah, I really do not want to see Arkansas mess around. I do not want to see this end up being like a 9-3 game. Dalton says, if anyone cares, this weekend's opponent, Charlotte, plays their midweek game in 25 minutes on ESPN Plus. So yeah, go check out what's Charlotte's mascot? Are they the 49ers? 49ers? That sound right? But yeah, go check those guys out. They came to Bomb a couple years ago, and I remember thinking like they were dangerous. They had a couple decent arms that I thought were, might give. And I think Arkansas ended up sweeping them. And so I haven't seen them this year. I haven't seen them play this year. Haven't really done any research on them. I'll really dive into that the next couple games, but would love to see Arkansas put some belt to ass this weekend for sure. And Davin Rhino says, what does Charlotte have to do with gold? I don't know. I really don't know. But I think they're the 49ers, though. I could be wrong. Let me make sure I'm not. Or are they just the Miners? College mascot. Who are they? Yeah, their mascot. They are the 49ers, and their mascot is Norm the Niner. So check that out. Yeah, Caden Jowers says Petrino was almost there. Maybe I should. You guys think I should get Omega Blake on the pod to preview Charlotte this weekend? See what Omega Blake, if he has a scouting report. Dude, how funny would that be if Omega Blake just turned out to be like the biggest baseball guy ever, and he's like, yeah, got a lefty setup guy. He's pretty solid. Redshirt sophomore. Stuff's got some bite to it. Got a nice slider. That'd be hilarious. I'll shoot him a DM. We'll see. But yeah, could have been the Charlotte 49ers head coached by Bobby Petrino. All righty. GM says, I think Dyke Park can still be called the juice box. Hey, come on now. But yeah, that's, I mean, like, let's just be honest. The fact that it's called Dyken Park it's tough. I mean, obviously it's just a company that bought the rights, but man, that's tough. And man, I really did not realize until today that people don't like Brett Dolan. I'm not even that like crazy about him, but I just didn't realize that people didn't like him. Are y'all fans of Troy Eklund? Oh wow, Charles Davalon just beat out an infield single. I don't know what the first baseman was doing here. If he just took his time getting to the ball or what, but he legs it out. He turned the wrong way. He like did a weird. I don't know how this isn't an out. If I'm the pitcher, I'm like throwing a huge fit right now. Because it's probably not going to go down as an error. It's just going to go down as a base hit, I would imagine. Let me check and see this real quick. The pitcher, the first baseman seems to think he got him. Yeah, they're calling that an infield single, and I think that's the right call. Like, I don't know how you throw an E on that necessarily. Let's see. I didn't look at the replay. Y'all think he got him or no? He just took his sweet ass time getting to that ball, man. That was crazy. They're doing the quiz thing that they do. They were quizzing, they quizzed McIntyre, they quizzed Diggs on who was the starting lineup when you made your debut. Boy, this is a blast from the past lineup right here. Craig Gentry, who threw out the first pitch the other day, former big leaguer, of course. Danny Hamlin, dude. Danny Hamlin was one of my favorite Hogs growing up. That dude raked. Blake Parker pitched in the big leagues for a while. Matt Willard was awesome. Logan Forsythe hitting eighth. Logan Forsythe also coached me at Razorback hitting camp in 2009. So shout out to him. I'm sure he remembers that. Yeah, Logan Forsythe is one of the best Hogs of my childhood for sure. Played forever in the big leagues. What did he play, like 8-10 years? He played a while in the big leagues. Played in the World Series against the Astros that one year. Forsythe had a good run, man. Okay. Yeah, I think he tags him as Davalon is stepping on the bag. I don't think you're getting an overturn here. I don't know how you would overturn that. Yep. David says that end the inning. It would end the inning, but I don't think it's going to. Wait, what the hell? They called him out? Stat broadcast has not updated yet. They still have it as an 8-1 game. Right before they went to commercial, am I tripping? Did it look like they were switching sides there? I don't know. I don't know how you can overturn that. That's crazy. Very interesting. For those that are listening to the broadcast, did y'all hear them say anything? Like, was there any any type of controversy there that would lead y'all to understand how that happened? Yeah, that's interesting. So it's 8-1 going to 7-1 going to the top of the fifth now. So Arkansas is in firm position. They're not in danger of being in any trouble or anything like that. But interesting. GM says he tagged his wrist. Yeah, I saw the tag. I felt like the tag happened as he was stepping on the bag, but I don't know. Maybe people had a better look. Yeah, I thought that seemed to me like one where you just like it's close, it's kind of bang bang, just go with the call on the field. But I don't know. Two of our sharper analysts in the chat, Sharkensaw and David, seem to think he was out. I will concede to their viewpoint. And I mean, hell, the umpires overturned it, so I guess we can go with that. And here comes Aiden Jimenez here to make his second appearance of the year. A little surprised he didn't throw over the weekend, frankly, but would be good to see him get going. I actually thought they might start him in this game today. He's a guy that almost started last year at Oregon State, a potential weekend starter. Maybe not not this year, but has the stuff and mixes speeds enough to be a weekend starter. So who knows? But would be good to see him have a good outing today. Might try and get his dad on the pod. His dad played in the big leagues, and I believe he was a coach. So I'm sure he would have an interesting perspective. Yep. Okay. Gets a strike call on a 94 mile an hour fastball, and then he gets a swing and miss on a 93 mile an hour fastball. Like a hard slider taken for a ball. Jimenez has some good stuff, man. And he also, in his first outing of the year, gets a swing and miss there on the slider. Good pitch. Good stuff. Jimenez gave up his ERA coming into today was a 9.00 ERA. He gave up one run in his one inning, but it's very deceiving. I thought both of the hits they charged against him could have been well, actually that's a lie. One was a fly ball to right field that Rocco Pepe just completely missed, just whiffed on completely, didn't get anywhere near it. So that goes down as a base hit, but of course should have been an out. And then they hit a ground ball to Michael Anderson at first base, and it got by him. They ruled it a hit. It was hit pretty well off the bat, but I thought you could have gone an error there. So, gives up 2 hits in a run, but really not indicative of the way that he pitched, I thought. And he comes in, gets a punch out to start it. Good to see, man. We'll see how long he goes, too. I mean, he's a guy that has had a lot of multi-inning outings in his career. He's a guy that they probably could stretch out. I don't think I've seen him throw more than 1 inning, whether it's been a scrimmage or the season so far yet. And of course, he's a guy that is recovering from surgery last year. So you definitely want to be a little bit cautious, but it'd be nice to see him maybe go 2. I could see that. Oof. I thought he got the punch out there. 1-2 counting out of the second guy. Yeah, Dave really likes Aiden Jimenez. Every time we talk about him, he lights up a little bit. I mentioned, and I pulled up the circle of trust earlier, and I had Bybee, McIntyre, and Jimenez all in the same kind of like competing for one spot in the weekend mix. And I think there are probably a lot of Hog fans who have seen Bybee throw a lot, have seen McIntyre throw a lot. And as we know, Hog fans hate their team. So I think there's probably a lot of people who are cheering for Jimenez. And I do think he probably has the most upside of that group. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ends up issuing a walk after getting ahead 0-2. Maybe should have got the call on that first breaking ball, but who knows? Okay, we'll see how he bounces back here. See, we'll keep an eye on the pitch count too. He's up to 13 pitches now through two hitters. Good pitch, strike one. This is a small man at the plate. He looks like a catcher. Looks like an old school catcher. Okay. Fly ball hit well. Thomas is there. He tracks it down. And he's a good athlete out in center field, man. He had a couple like crazy plays in center field this weekend, but when he gets out there and has to run, he can cover a lot of ground. I think at this point, it's clear that like they made the right call moving him and Davalon, and of course Davalon made a really nice play there in left field. Davalon also had it in just a head scratching play on Sunday where he just let a base hit fall in front of him. Where I'm like, how on earth did you not get to that one? So Davalon's like not a bad defender, but just every now and then he just makes a bizarre boneheaded play where you're like, what? Base hit through the right side with 2 outs. Also, that's a new right fielder, if I'm not mistaken. That looked like maybe Brenton Clark in right field. Am I tripping? No, that was Logan Maxwell. Logan Maxwell playing right field. I was about to say. I was like, that was a left-handed throw in right fielder, but I forgot Logan Maxwell's back out there. Okay, so first and second with 2 outs for Jimenez. Gets a swing and miss there. And now we've got former Hog Martavius Thomas. I say former Hog. He was committed to Arkansas at one point. Oh, and he hits a squibber down the line. Iredale's kind of played over against the lefty. That's going to bring home 1 run. That's okay. Gets the runner up to third base. So a double for Martavius Thomas. Interesting little piece of hitting there. Probably wasn't hit hard off the bat, but it gets by and gets right down the left field line. So 7-2 ball game now. Yeah, I want to see another look at this. Yeah, just nice little inside out swing. It was hit harder than I realized. I mean, it got almost all the way down to the fence. Good piece of hitting from Martavius Thomas. I feel like he should be a guy that, would enter the portal and like get picked up and be a 9-hole for somebody. He's not bad at all. Okay, so some adversity for Mr. Jimenez. who now has given up 2 runs in his 2 innings of work this year. And I feel bad because it's like I feel like it's like he's pitched better than it seems, but ground ball to second. Souza makes the play over to first. All right. So going to the bottom of the 5th now. Arkansas's up 7-2. Let's see. See people saying Rocco Pepe's name. What did Pepe do? Oh, Sharkansas says, what is Pepe's walk-up song? I feel like he is missing out on a chance to use Rocco's Modern Life. If not, his walk-up song is Brick House, as in the song, She's a Brick House. That one. That would be his walk-up song. Let's see. Oh, American Lee says, by the way, Coyle looked awesome this weekend and had some bad luck, but he is more than a lefty specialist, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. He's a bona fide circle of trust guy. Like, no doubt about it. He's a circle of trust guy. He's made 2 appearances in each of the first 2 weeks. And to your point, it's not like I think he came in and got a lefty out in his first outing of the year, but like he's gone at least an inning in a few of those. I think in 3 of the 4 outings he's made, he's gone at least 1 inning. I think he's definitely like I've said from the beginning of the offseason, like at the absolute very least, you're looking at a left on left guy, like in that Stone Hewlett role, but he's going to throw way more innings than Stone Hewlett threw. I can't remember the numbers, but Stone Hewlett made like 20 something appearances and threw 13 innings. And Coyle's definitely going to end up with way more innings than that. But yeah, I think he's a bona fide circle of trust guy. And he's one of the many left-handed arms that I just feel really good about in this Arkansas pitching staff. I think him and Colin Fisher both are guys that you will bring in to face lefties, but both are guys that throw a ton of strikes, can be stretched out and be 2, 3, 4 inning type guys if you really need. And, you get those guys going, man, gives you some options for sure. And so I think Arkansas is in a really good situation with their left-handed arms for sure, man. All righty. What's everybody saying in the chat here? Davin Rhino says they should be able to charge an error even though a player doesn't get a glove on it. If it's clear, should have been an out. I'm inclined to agree, like it's one of those things that like, the scoring nerds that like really like shout out to my buddy Robert Stewart, who used to work at Hogbeat. He's like the ultimate, every time he's at a baseball game, whether it's a 9U Little League game or it's a big league game, he's bringing his scorebook and he's going to be like very stern about hit, error, whatever, and like earned run, whatever. Like he's big on that. He would probably argue to the death on this, but I kind of agree. Like I think there should be like reasonable judgment. Like if it's a fly ball, but it's kind of tough. And again, I think like you're saying, if it clearly should have been an out, it's one thing if the right fielder just kind of gives a half-assed effort and maybe should have gotten there but didn't. Like that's not an error. But the one where it's a routine fly ball and the guy just completely misses it and he loses it in the sun or whatever, like that should be an error for sure. Am I tripping, or was that a very quick half-inning break there? But Vahiva Aloy is at the dish after Charles Davalon was wrongly accused of being out at first base to end last inning. I need Vahiva Aloy to hit a home run here soon just to keep on track for 20 home runs. I simply am not going to be able to function if Arkansas does not have either him or Iredale crack the 20 home run mark this year. It would really, but then I would have a whole nother offseason of being able to cite that Arkansas hasn't had a 20 home run guy since Chad Spanberger. That'd be fun. Speaking of guys who could hit 20 home runs at the University of Arkansas, y'all see Keston Kerstad homered today for the Baltimore Orioles in spring training. Good to see that. Vahiva grounds one to short, and his counterpart throws him out. What a bum. What a bum. Drew Bynum says, should McIntyre shelve his fastball? No, not quite. I mean, obviously, of course, it's not, a big time swing and miss fastball. He needs to keep guys off balance. The reason I think he shouldn't shelve it is because that's what he did last year down the stretch. He was basically just cutter every pitch, and that also didn't keep guys off balance. Realistically, like for McIntyre to be effective, he needs to be locating pitches, big, like he needs to be corners, can't be thrown over the plate at all. And he needs to keep guys off balance. And so I think his fastball is one that he needs to be able to like sneak them by. He's obviously going to pitch backwards a good bit. I would definitely shelve fastballs over the heart of the plate because that's what he does. David says, "Which Aloy is the best Aloy?" Well, after that Vahiva ground out, maybe it's Cahillo, but no, it's definitely still Vahiva. I mean, he's still the man. David says, Andrew, if you do this for a living, how do you not have 1 GB fiber by now? Honestly, I'm not well versed on the internet stuff and how it all works. The Cox internet that I'm about to have is fiber. It's one that's like in the house. The only issue, the thing that kind of sucks is with the house that I live in, I'm not able to plug right into the internet. Like it's not a router where I can just plug right into it. Like the thing is downstairs in the laundry room. And so unless I'm streaming from the laundry room, which really doesn't have room for me to set up shop, there's no way for me to plug directly into it. But I really think just like the neighborhood I live in kind of sucks, if I'm being honest with you, from an internet standpoint. He says I need 1 gig fiber. Yeah. I mean, if someone wants to foot the bill, I'll take it. I don't know how much it costs or anything like that, but let's see. Also, how did Logan Maxwell get on base? I think I missed that. Oh, he singled to the left side. Good for him. Someone described the Logan Maxwell single. I was too busy messing with the chat. I wasn't paying attention. Another thing that sucks about where I live is they don't offer, like the only sites I can use are Cox or Ozarks Go. They don't allow you to do anything else here. So like I'm kind of limited to those two, neither of which seem to be very great. Okay, Brent Iredale is up 3-0. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, something's happened here in the last like 3 days or something like that. Cause like, I mean, I go live every day. We do Inside Arkansas live all the time. And I've had weird stretches where it goes out here and there, which just is kind of just lives and dies. That's an Ozarks Go thing. But like on a day-to-day basis, it's rare that I've had like big issues all the time. But the last like 2 or 3 days, it's been something weird. And I think that's why I'm eventually like, they've kind of given me no choice. I've got to make the move. Ugh. Okay, so first and second now for Cahillo, who would like to unseat his brother as the best Aloy. Is this going to be the inning we get our first Nolan Souza hit since opening day? Got a righty on the bump, which is nice. Oof. That boy Cahillo, man, he doesn't get cheated up there. When he's in an advantage count, man, he's going to swing out of his shoes, as he should. And another base hit for Cahillo Aloy. Is that going to drive in a run? No, because they held Logan Maxwell at third base. Probably fair. It's actually a pretty good throw there from center. Okay, so bases loaded and 1 out now. I guess this would be Pepe's spotting the lineup up. Y'all got y'all's beer hats on. Oh, man. Let's see. 112 is what Dabbing Rhino is saying for the exit velocity. Dude is that's what you call being locked in at the plate, man. Like everything he's touching is just going 110, 112, man. It seems like. And look, here's the thing to consider about Cahillo. Came to college as a pitcher. Like this time last year, he was like just making the move to being a hitter. Obviously, I'm sure he hit in high school and all that, but like there's reason to believe like this is just his second year like hitting full time. There's more upside there, and we're kind of seeing that play out now. Oh, Rocco Pepe's hit by a pitch. He's smiling. If you want, yeah, that's the pitch you want to get hit by if you're going to get hit by one. A little breaking ball that just comes in on you. All right, so bases juice with 1 out. And I believe this is Nolan Souza's spot. We'll see if they pinch hit for him already. Oh, are they about to go? Are they about to bring in a lefty? This is mean if they're bringing in a lefty. It looks like they are. Oh, no, it's a righty. Okay. Another white boy on the bump. I feel like Souza, when he finally does get a hit, it's going to be like 474 feet. Like it's just going to be one where he just takes out some frustration on that ball. Man. Tavin Rhino says, yeah, so he could be a Shohei type player. I don't think he's pitched. He didn't pitch last year. I don't believe the pitching is in the plans for Cahillo. But I mean, technically, Arkansas does have a Shohei Ohtani candidate, and that would be Tyler Holland, who we have not gotten to see yet this year. Mm. Oh, we got a boy from West Monroe. From West Monroe, man, you got to hit this kid from West Monroe. You cannot let someone from that dump get you out. West Monroe High School, I was undefeated going into the final game senior year, and West Monroe gave me an L. So never gotten over it. Yeah, I remember Slade Bolden that played at Alabama, who was he was like a receiver, little slot receiver for Alabama a few years ago in football. Absolutely dominated my ass in baseball. I think he was like a freshman or a sophomore at the time. And him and this kid, Jacob Pearson, who has 2 brothers that are at LSU. They gave it to me, man. I've not gotten over it. All right. A white kid from West Monroe throwing 88. Let's make something happen here, Nolan. Let's make something happen here. It is just messed up that like he's the guy who's facing the first hit, the pitcher coming out of the bullpen. Oh. Oh man. Ball 1. A little breaking ball down. Well, nice to know he will not be going 0-2 in this plate appearance here. Fast. I guess that was a fastball. 83, maybe it was a changeup. Down and in for strike 1. Oh, a wild pitch will bring home a run. That'll bring home Brent Iredale. Okay, 9-2 now. I guess runners at second and third. One out. 2-1 count is where I'm at. I don't know if you guys are ahead of me or not. If so, I apologize. Or if I'm ahead of you, I apologize. Uh-oh. Guys, we have a special guest just in time to watch the Nolan Souza breakout. Nolan Souza grounds one to second base. That'll drive home a run, make it 10-2. But the slump continues. But we are going to, let's go ahead. Let me make sure I'm getting this right here. We are going to bring in our good pal, Curtis Wilkerson. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I had to wait until the bases were no longer loaded before I really popped in here, because if it didn't go well, I'm not catching those allegations. Not this time.
Well, you came here just in time to watch a Nolan Souza RBI, which, you know, if you've been watching the first few weeks, is a rare occurrence.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? I think about, all the hot takes you had on Souza, and yeah, whatever. It hasn't aged well through, 6% of the season or whatever. I did the same thing with Carter Knox, and look at him now. Just
exactly
play the long game. Souza's going to be fine. Just like, just like our man. Who's that? Is that Helfrick? Oh yeah. He's going to do something cool, right?
I mean, hell, they could certainly use it. That's one of the funny things I've been saying all off season. I was like, man, they really got to get these two sophomores going, Souza and Helfrick. Oh, yeah, dude, Helfrick just hit a ball about 520 feet.
He nuked it. Let's go.
Holy cow.
Come
okay.
on.
Well, I said something earlier in this very stream, and I was like, I'm kind of surprised Helfrick hasn't had a home run. Like, even when he's struggling at the plate, he's a powerful guy, led the Cape Cod in home runs. Wow. Okay. So that makes it a 12-2 game. Helfrick's on the board. Boy, he needed that one too.
Yeah, man. Is that the first dinger of the day?
That is the first dinger of the day. Arkansas's been
Nice.
been nickel and diming it, been small balling their way through this one. Just a lot of base hits. I think they've only had like maybe two doubles. Yeah, he got a lot of that one.
Yes,
anybody watching on TV want to hit us with some metrics? I'm sure they're saying something. That felt like a 110 plus type of swing.
I like that a lot, man. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the Georgia G or the Missouri Tiger looking uniforms for Grambling here. Like, be your own identity,
It's a tough combo, isn't it? And Justin Thomas. I think I might be a little bit ahead of you, Curtis.
Oh no. Oh, wow. He might have hit that further.
Wow. Yeah, dude, that looked like a breaking ball that he got all of. This is a kid from West Monroe on the bump, a white boy from West Monroe pitching at Grambling.
This baseball thing's fun.
Yeah, how about that, Curtis? Well, you've gone from potential jinx to you bring the long balls. You bring the gorilla ball.
I needed that. This is good for my psyche for sure.
Hey, matter of fact, you know what? I meant to play this video a long time ago. I forgot to load it up. Damn it. I cleaned up my files earlier, and I think I deleted it. Damn it. No, I didn't.
Better.
I lied. I didn't delete it. It's going to take a while for it to upload and process, but as soon as it does, we're getting Nate Thompson yelling at us, boys.
Yes.
So it's 13-2 now. Justin Thomas hit his first home run as a Razorback.
I like him.
Yeah, no, he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's had a nice little start of the season, getting walked a lot, just on base a good bit. All these guys are going to fluctuate a little bit at the plate, but he's been doing some good work in center field too, man. So I feel like at this point, he started every game. He's a no doubter, man.
Let's get that freaking gorilla going.
Yes.
I don't know why I cut off there. Let's get that freaking gorilla going. The people love Nate Thompson, man. They love him.
Oh yeah, I always knew that. He's been a fan favorite for a while now. So did I okay, I don't want to misquote Hutch, but I thought I read it on his tweeter. Is Arkansas never lost to a SWAC opponent? I
think he said something. They were like 10-0, yeah, something like that. Hey, Curtis, now I'm actually glad that you're on. Someone asked earlier, they're like, you got to get Curtis on to break down the Gage Wood injury. In your professional opinion, right shoulder impingement. What kind of rehab are we looking at for that? Like, how long is that going to take?
See ya in SEC play.
Okay. 3 weeks?
Yeah. As long as they don't overdo it. But let me throw out some buzzwords at you. His rehab, if anybody asks him about it, it's called the thrower's 10. He's been doing the same exercises over and over. He's going to get a lot of that electric stim, ice and compression and all that stuff. Bunch of ultrasounds, not baby ultrasounds, but therapeutic ultrasounds. A lot of work on it, and then they'll get him back on the throwing program and ramp him up. As long as he doesn't have any setbacks, it should just be a few weeks, honestly. But they'll have to build him up, though. You know what I mean? So it could be a situation where maybe Vital Cheese is hanging out in the rotation for a while, and they have to build him back up through the pin. I don't know about that part of it, but is this a Curtis only baseball stream right now? Because Andrew's either doing a hell of a job at being frozen up. Oh, yep, there he's gone. He's gone. Well, that's okay. And just so everybody knows, I've covered this team. I have covered this team for seasons in the past. So we're gonna deal with it until Andrew gets back in here. Here he comes. That Ozarks go will get you, folks. It'll get you every time.
Listen, I'm actually thinking, what would have happened if you hadn't been here?
I know.
It really would have just been a blank screen up there for everybody.
Well, we just went in detail on what Gage Wood's rehab program is going to look like, and then I just tried to comfort everyone. I was like, listen, I've covered baseball before. We'll be okay for a minute until Andrew gets back. Now here you are. Thank God.
Yeah. No. Oh, of course. I had no doubt you were all good. But
the people might not know.
I'm gonna officially. So they're coming. Cox is coming tomorrow at somewhere between 8 and 10 a.m. So tomorrow on Inside Arkansas Live, I will be debuting new internet, and so we'll see. Big. We'll see if the Cox fiber is going to be any better. But this is a fitting last day of Ozarks Go.
What do you think? What has changed? It seems like the last few days they've just been out to get you.
That's kind of what I was saying too, because I've had little it would pop in every now and then here and there. I'd get frozen or whatever. But it was kind of it was few and far between for the most part. But the last few days, something, maybe the snow. Yeah, I see Michelle saying the snow. Maybe the weather affected something. Like maybe there's a pipe that busts somewhere, or there's a power line down. I don't know, but I don't know. I think the neighborhood we live in, just kind of sucks for internet.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
We shall see.
Hey, who is Eves?
Oh, that's Steele Eves. He's from I want to say Texarkana.
Okay.
Freshman pitcher, freshman right-hander. Is he making his debut here now?
He's about to come in and chuck it.
Okay, yeah. I predicted earlier that there would be at least one freshman make his debut, and he is the first. We might see some others, maybe Tag Andrews, maybe Ross Felder, but Eves came on strong in the spring.
It's funny that Michelle's already in here in the chat. I'd been outside for a while, and I came back in and got some work to do. I still got to do the preview for the Texas game tomorrow, and I just walked in here to the office and was like, you know what, I'm getting on this stream, and I didn't even tell her, but she's locked in, man. She's always dialed.
Yeah, I mean she's always consistent. She supports as much as any of these crazy fools.
Lone Oak, Arkansas for Steel Eves. Okay.
Who is from Texarkana that I'm thinking of? There was a kid, Ty Wade, a couple years ago from Texarkana that people loved.
Interesting facial hair choice for him, but
first pitch he throws. Oof. That was tough. Pretty crazy. There's big country there playing first base. That was almost an insane play from Vahiva.
He gave his best Derek Jeter impression with his wrist taped up. That's got to be hard.
That wrist thing happened in Arlington
Mm-hmm.
And I was really worried when it happened. He like dove for a ground ball with his glove, and it was not his glove hand that he came up and he kind of was shaking it. And I kind of panicked a little bit. So I don't like that it's super taped up like that because that means it's a thing.
Well, at least he got injured making a baseball play. Like John Calipari outright confirmed that Nelly Davis fell off a freaking golf cart to hurt his wrist way back when.
Oh,
So,
really?
He said it on the radio show last night. 2 of the guys who got hurt fell off scooters. Like one ran out of battery or something. They had a crash. And then, Nelly fell off a freaking golf cart.
One of those scooters you have to like pay to use?
Yeah. Like
just
ran out of
stock
charge or whatever.
That's messed up.
Yep. So that's great.
Goodness.
Let's keep the hurtness on the field, boys.
Yeah. At least get injured doing normal stuff.
Yeah. Who's it? Is it Bobby Petrino's almost home and former home of Omega Blake? Is that who's in town this weekend?
That is, we were discussing earlier if I should invite him Omega Blake on for some takes. I wonder if he's watched them play a little bit.
I think that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
he's good.
Zach asks, did Arkansas football lose a player to a scooter?
Yes.
What's his name? Posky got hurt via scooter.
He did. And was that foul? Okay. Yeah, he did. And then one offensive lineman they lost him for the year, right?
Yeah, there was he was like a freshman offense. Oh, it was Zuri Madison.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it happened in spring. They got to get off those things, man.
All right. First career strikeout for Steel Eaves is in the book.
Dude, no way. From Camel Hog, Lindenwood beating Missouri in baseball right now. This makes me happy. This makes me very happy.
Dude, Missouri will get an ass whipping from literally anyone who wants to play them in baseball. Alabama A&M put up I think they beat them 10-2 or something the other day.
That's that really just shouldn't happen.
Let's see. Shout out to American Lee. He says Eaves is our 15th pitcher to be used this year. DVH normally pitches between 17 to 20. That checks out. That kind of makes sense in my brain. And some of those other freshmen like a Ross Felder might get in there. Tag Andrews might get in there. Maybe throw in one more with Hunter Dietz. That would give you 18. And so I think that kind of tracks. And there's several more midweek games. Might see someone make their debut here, but that kind of makes sense.
Oh.
This dude at the plate that just got hit by a pitch looks like Yordan Alvarez, the Astros DH.
Yeah, he looks like an athlete, man. Dude's well put together.
Yeah. Their coach, do they have their I think it's their third base coach is just massive.
Love that.
Just a big old dude. I'm waiting for I'm hoping that it'll happen with you here on the stream. Usually there's at least one arm from one of these, any of these midweek opponents that literally will just be out there lobbing up 62-mile-an-hour curveballs. It happens all the time. And I feel like bottom of the 6th here, Arkansas is going to get one more at bat. That would be the prime time.
You did say it was a stat padding season in here. So
yeah,
this is good.
Definitely on a nice track.
Did you get a glimpse and get able to make fun of John Neighbors on camera? Was he visible?
He was very visible on camera. Good. Well, I didn't realize he was going to be. He told me he was going to the game, but I didn't know where he was sitting. And then I was just kind of looking behind on plate. I'm like, oh yeah, it's very much John Neighbors back there.
I was out on a run and I was watching it first, but that you shouldn't do that if you're mobile. So I was going back and forth between listening to you. And I was like, all right, now I'm going to go over and actually listen to the broadcast and see what's going on. And so I was doing a little bit of back and forth, but I missed the John Neighbors visual. I've seen plenty of him recently though, so it's okay.
Let's see. I just realized that John, I guess there's technically a chance that John could pop in here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get us prepared in case he does, to where I'll have all 3 of our names still visible.
I like that.
Because we have the technology to do stuff like that.
Well, Carlton threw us a curveball today when he was like, hey, take the Saracen thing down. And so
how about that?
The names at the bottom there.
Yeah, that was tough.
Deep down, there's no doubt in my mind, John was low key irritated by that. He said, I worked on those graphics. Like,
and he was working on it for the first like 5 minutes. Luckily, Carlton talks for a while, so it's you can make that work. But
they come out and have a little conversation with him, settle him down.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
debut.
Hey, there's literally no pressure, guy. It's okay.
Truly, other than you might ruin the run rule, but nah, we'll be all right. They'll get that run rule back. Someone earlier when Grambling scored a run earlier against Bybee, can't remember who it was. They were like, "Oh, all that means is just more runs we get to score before the run rule." That's the right way to look at it.
Yeah. How Bybee look in there today?
How'd who?
Bybee.
Oh, Bybee. I think you said Bobby. Yeah. I was like, what?
Nah.
I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if he had any questions.
He always looks great.
Yeah. Bybee was fine. He pitched 3 innings, and his last inning was his best inning for sure. I wouldn't say he was super sharp, but it was pretty much every Ben Bybee midweek start, of which there have been many, rolled into one. We'll see, man. I think he might just be kind of stuck in that little purgatory there of like overqualified to for midweeks, but like underqualified for the weekend.
That's valid. Yeah.
Yeah. Aiden Jimenez also threw in this game, the Oregon State transfer, and he wasn't great either. I wouldn't say. Like I would say neither of those guys were gave like a super definitive performance. Everybody hates Will McIntyre, of course, and everybody wants to find a way to get him out of the weekend mix. It's going to have to come from one of those guys, or maybe one of these young freshmen like an Eves or an Andrews. And so there's plenty of options, but so far, man, the best pitchers for Arkansas are all left-handed, it seems. Just not a good day for righties. But Colin Fisher came in and shoved, as he tends to do.
Love me some Colin Fisher. I witnessed his first start in person. Me, you, and Scotty. It's a good time.
And he shoved in that one too, didn't he?
He did, man. Yeah. At the moment, people were talking like he was better than Hagen Smith. So,
yeah. Well, in the moment, he was. It's like, all righty.
I see a couple nice little Hawaiian shirts in the background. We're about to that point in the weather where I'm gonna break out the Razorback Hawaiians. That might be tomorrow. Little game day action.
Yeah, I really do, and I know the players love it too. Like, it's cool to see how much Hog fans have really embraced the Hawaiian thing. Like they're and they do that a lot. They did that with Rick Nomura back in the day. But it is cool, and I'm sure it makes them feel pretty awesome too. You get some Aussie chants too.
Yeah.
David asked why he was allowed warm-up pitches. Did it seem like he was maybe there was like a question of injury?
Maybe.
I kind of was not paying attention. I was kind of going back and forth. But when Hobbs came out there, did he come out there with a trainer or was it just Hobbs?
I only saw Hobbs. But it looked like he only talked to him for a second and then he was talking to the ump.
Yeah, so maybe it was like a oh, hey, he may have stepped weird or whatever. Because a lot of times you do see him get the warm-up throw in that context.
Slipped on the mound or something, maybe. I don't know.
If you're feeling rattled as a player on the mound, just fake an injury. Get you a few extra warm-up pitches, catch your breath a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's always nice. Okay, so where are we going now? We're going bottom 6. The run rule's still in play. He hunkered down there, got out of the inning, got a huge punch out to end it. So now you're going to the bottom of the 6th. Maybe get a few insurance runs, but ideally we would not play more than 7 innings here.
Yeah, I think
I got cocky expecting a run rule on Sunday. They got up 7-1. I was like,
trending that way. Yeah.
Ended up being like a freaking 4-hour game, dude. That was miserable. Okay. If John Neighbors does decide to grace us with his presence, we are now set up to where we can make that happen.
Beautiful.
But there's not too much. Hopefully there's not too much time left in this game. And now by the way, they made a ton of substitutions that inning. So it could be a bunch of random dudes batting here this frame.
Good.
Looks like Maxwell is gonna lead it off. Could get some Gabe Frazier action. I saw his dad the other day. Let's see. Steve Bardwell says Wiggins to close. I wouldn't hate seeing Jackson Wiggins or Carson Wiggins. Sorry, had a little bit of a rough outing there on Sunday, uncharacteristic. Could see that. Could maybe get another guy a debut.
We got a little chicken dance out there.
Caden says John was at the game for a solid 2 innings. Yeah. Had to make his appearance.
Yeah, all about appearances. It's okay.
Yeah, Logan Maxwell got a couple hits today. That's one of the many guys they need to get going. I mean, hell, you'd like to get them all going. Rocco Pepe had a nice day at the dish as well. At
Good.
one point,
I need that from my
average
man
to
Rocco.
200. Need that from Pepe. He got his average to 200, and then he popped out, and so back down. Now he's back to being bad. But I think he drove in 3 runs.
Okay. See at first today?
He was at first. Didn't have no controversy there. I think at this point, I think what they'll do Friday is probably start Pepe at first again and have Kojal at second.
I like that.
Okay, let's talk about this, Curtis. So Zach wants to know where I'm at on the bat around argument.
Okay.
Okay, do you consider it batting around if all 9 guys hit and then the 9th guy gets out?
No.
I don't think so either. I think you got to...
Whoever led off has to come back to the plate.
Twice.
Yeah.
The guy has to hit it has to go to the plate twice. For you to bat around. I that's where I'm at. I don't really care though, I got to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either. I won't throw a fit about it. I'm more passionate about the fair pole, foul pole thing.
You think it should be fair?
No, I don't. I completely understand the logic, but
yeah,
don't mess with something that's not controversial. That's all.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm with you on that. I recorded Sunday's episode in Phil's radio booth, and I set and Viva Aloy happened to hit a home run off of the yellow pole in right field. Yep. And when I referenced it, I said foul pole, and someone commented and was like, "Dude, if you're gonna do your show in Phil's booth, you got to call it a fair pole." And I'm like, "All right, fair enough."
I had never even considered it until I started hearing him say it, and I was like, it actually makes a lot of sense, but I can't go there.
It is tough because, I mean, if you hit it, it's a fair ball. So it's like, how is it a foul ball if you hit it and it's foul? But I don't know. I'm kind of with you where I'm like, we don't have to change things just to change it.
Carlos Pequero, 6'4", 225.
It seems like a lot of people today. I'll tell you, Grambling's got some hitters. They're gonna swing. They swing the bats pretty well. Oof! It seems like a lot of people today discovered that Hudson Polk is indeed the first base coach. And that he is. He looks great doing it. He's not wearing number 16 anymore. They gave that to Aiden Jimenez. They got him in number 15, which is actually maybe a cooler number.
I'd agree with that.
David says it's called the foul pole because it indicates fouls, which I think is true. Like, I think that's where it came from. But and then look, we're on the right. I think we're on the right side of history here. We think it's a foul pole. Wonder Bread says they should give the ball boy an at bat. He looks like he hits bangers. Shout out to that bat boy for making an appearance in a hype video leading up to the season.
Oh,
they did like a little thing where it was like Will McIntyre, and they were like,
"Oh, that was that dude."
Yeah, it was the bat boy.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really make the connection until this weekend when I saw the bat boy, and I was like, "Oh, that's that kid from the video." All right, Brent Iredale's walked. cowards scared to throw at Brent Iredale. Cowards. Oh, streets are saying Brent Iredale's been on base 5 times now. That sounds accurate. I definitely don't think I've seen him getting out.
Yeah, he may never not be on base against teams like this. He's just that good.
It's really nice that him and Vahiva they've mastered the art of not swinging at pitches out of the zone. Because that's pretty much the only way you're going to get those guys out, is if you get them to swing at pitches that are out of the zone.
Yeah.
Vahio Eloy has hit another baseball very hard. That's just kind of what he does these days. I think he's been on base 4 or 5 times. He might have 4 hits in this one.
Now, is he like playing over his head right now, or has he just gotten that much better? Do they expect him to be this? I guess is the question I'm asking.
He's definitely playing over his head. I mean, I think he's hitting like 600 right now or something like that. It's weird. So in the fall, when he first committed, I think last year at BYU, he hit 269 with 8 home runs. So like a respectable freshman year. So when you get him out of the portal, one, he's Vahiva's brother. So we were all kind of like, okay, that makes sense. He had a fall in the fall. He showed some flashes. He had 4 home runs and they were like all pretty long. You could tell the power was there. He also strikes out a lot. And so you kind of in the fall, I feel like was who he's actually going to be, a guy that hits 270, has a ton of power, will still strike out a good bit. In the spring leading up to the season, he was 3 for 20 in the 9 scrimmages leading up to the season, which is why he didn't start the year in the lineup. And so I think he was definitely a DH option. I definitely don't think they realized he was gonna take this type of to start the year this hot. But I was talking about this earlier. He went to BYU as a pitcher originally. Obviously, he did both in high school, but he was gonna pitch originally. So his first fall at college was pitching. And then they realized, okay, actually, you hit the ball 120 off the bat. Let's maybe make you our DH. And so he kind of had a nice freshman year. But like, there's definitely an argument to be made that like his trajectory is going to keep going up.
Love that.
Okay. Oh, man. There is no joy out on the farm as Big Country has struck out.
He's up there letting it eat, too.
I by the way, I don't know if I've talked to you about this or not, but I've demoted Big Country from Big Country status. He is just Reese Robinette now. Shaved the mustache, and now his walk-up song is Paper Planes by MIA. Very much not a country song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Well, you got to lean in when you've got a nickname like that.
Yeah, you got to get that loud thunder, heavy rain. That's what you got to have.
Yeah.
Country.
That's my favorite walk-up song, man.
Yeah. I feel like every like third team has a guy with that. Has like a first baseman that doesn't wear batting gloves.
Yep.
Or a right-handed pitcher. Gabe Frazier got a start this weekend in Arlington in that TCU game.
Yeah, he did.
Sure did, didn't he? Oh.
Was that surprising that happened?
It was definitely surprising that it happened in that moment. Like if you had told me Gabe Frazier was going to get his first career start, I would have thought it would be today.
Sure.
I think it was really just they didn't want to start Nolan Souza, who had been obviously struggling and has continued to struggle. Frazier's good. He's been pretty solid. Oh, and he hits one pretty high. Looks like that'll probably be a sack fly. I guess he ended up coming in a little bit.
Man.
Oh, wow, he was almost out there.
It was a better throw than I thought it was.
Right. But no, Frazier was interesting. He had a pretty good fall for the most part. And then him and Brenton Clark, I feel like they're the two highest rated position players that Arkansas has in the freshman class. Both of them kind of came back down to earth a little bit in the spring. But like Frazier's interesting because he's probably your backup shortstop. Like if something happened to Vahiva, I think he would probably, or Souza for that matter, could play some shortstop, could play some third, could play some second, and left-handed bat. So it's like I think he's gonna get some opportunities, but I hope they can keep him around because I feel like this time next year he's really going to be an intriguing prospect.
Yeah. Zane
Zach
Becker
Edwards
up
says,
here.
The Aloys are a casual 19 for 40 this season. That's crazy.
No big deal.
Yeah. Jeez. Ryan McDaniel asks if Frazier was a highly rated recruit. He was. He was a pretty widely regarded. He's also next in line with all the Cali guys, of which there are many. But yeah, he was definitely a guy that like wasn't like, I don't think people thought he was going to like sign out of high school or anything, but he was in that range of good recruit that you knew was probably going to make it to campus. And he's I mean, most places he would definitely be pushing for a starting job. And that would also apply to Zane Becker, who has quickly become a fan favorite. Ooh, okay. All righty. So who are we going to get to come throw this top of the seventh?
Oh, they were talking Zane Becker up on Flow Sports. Oh, is it good? I haven't seen him throw yet. I was just going to say they were talking Becker up on Flow Sports over the weekend. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. And I did a victory lap for this last week. I feel like I was the first person on the Zane Becker train, like going back to the fall, because they brought in that JUCO kid who hit 517, Elliot Peterson, and everyone assumed he would be the backup catcher, including me. Then we get to the fall, and I was like, Becker actually looks like really good. Like he looks pretty solid. And then he got to the point in the spring, they weren't even catching Peterson at all. And I was like, okay, so he like officially is like the backup catcher, which like, you know, of course, I didn't think there was any controversy with him or Helfrick, but like, you're not going to catch your catcher 60 games. So I was like, this kid's going to start. And now it's gone the other way where people are like, start him every day and hit him third. And I'm like, whoa, let's reel it in a little bit. But no, Becker's intriguing for sure. And I think he's going to end up getting some DH spots.
Love that.
Him and Helfrick both are really could probably be DH candidates. David also asks, has Cali always been this deep with talent, or is it just a numbers thing? Well, it's definitely a numbers thing with, just how big of a state it is. There's usually always some good talent, but I will say in the last decade or so, the pendulum has really swung where there's still good programs on the West Coast, but now it's like a lot of those top guys are going to the Ole Misses, LSUs, Arkansas. Obviously Oregon State's still going to get some guys. UCLA will still get some guys, but I'd say more and more are being willing to go play in the SEC than ever before. And Arkansas has definitely been a beneficiary of that. I mean, because they've always had a guy here or there from Cali, but now they've got like pretty much 3 in every class. Also, when I was first reading that chat, I thought he was talking about Caleb Cali. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, Cali. I'm like, I don't think we'll get the radar here, but if we were there, it's warm weather. We'd have to definitely have our eyes on the scoreboard.
Oh yeah,
seeing if we can get some triple digis.
How's Big Bro doing?
He made his debut last year. He took a while because he tore his UCL pretty late in the process in his junior year. He finally made his debut last year. He got up to AA, if I remember correctly. I feel like it was AA. Maybe it was high A. But he had some moments. I mean, he was, had some ups and downs, but for the most part, had good strikeout numbers. Seems to be making his way through the systems okay. He's probably going to be a guy in the next year or so. We'll have to start watching. Might make his debut. He's going to be a guy for sure that Hog fans obviously were saw Jackson Wiggins when he was very early in his development. Mm-hmm. And they're like, man, this guy stinks. And I think people are going to be stunned in 3 years when he's a setup guy in the big leagues.
Right.
We get a swing and miss there. We did. Yeah. When you're 97, 98 every pitch, and then you drop in the 87 mile an hour slider.
Yeah.
That'll do. Oh yeah. That's a swing. All right.
Love the forearm tats. The young man.
Oh yeah.
You're high leverage at the end of the game. You got to have the forearms tatted.
For sure. He's also got Meek Mill as his walk-up song. That's a young man that has been on some AAU teams.
Yeah.
And really, all the scouts said about Carson that he's more polished at this stage than Jackson. I mean, and so it's not a hot take to say that, but you just look at his delivery and it's definitely a lot more compact together. Like, it's hard for these big guys to, be consistent with their mechanics. But I feel like Carson's a lot less herky-jerky. It looks pretty repeatable for the most part.
Right.
This is not a save situation, just for the record. He will not get a save for this.
He can have it in our hearts.
99 on the TV gun.
Ooh.
Come on, coward. Touch 100. Curtis, I don't know if you know this. This kid batting right now was at one point committed to the University of Arkansas.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This little dude?
Yeah, I can't remember where he's from, but he was committed to Arkansas for like a couple years, and then some conversations were had, and a decision was made. But former Razorback commit. He also got a base hit off of somebody. Oh, good play. All righty. He wants the review. He wants the review.
I mean, I think it's only fitting.
Yeah, that'd be totally. Yeah, just go ahead and review this last play here. But they really are going to look at it. Wow.
Of course.
I thought for sure he was. I thought that was like a one we're good on. But whatever. Let's add the suspense a little bit. We'll stretch this watch party out.
Everybody's leaving.
This is 3 hours. How about that? Oh man.
I would confirm the call no matter what.
There was a controversial review earlier. Charles Davalon looked like he beat out an infield single. Then they reviewed it and said that the guy tagged him on the wrist.
Oh,
so maybe we'll get some action here. But I missed the replay. Let me watch that again.
He's out. I'm out of here.
I thought so too. Go ahead and start dapping up, boys. Go ahead and start your handshake.
Yeah.
Productive day at the office for the number 4 Arkansas Razorbacks.
It's good work.
It's what you needed, man. It's what you needed. Game 1 of the 10-game homestand. You can't go 10-0 without going 1-0.
This is true. Getting that loss out of their system, it's the best thing that ever happened to them,
Yeah. Oh man, I had a lot of people dunking on me for because I like one of my bold predictions was Arkansas will be the last undefeated team. What's going to be funny is whenever they win these 10 home games and they're never 16-1 or whatever, and I'll be like, wow, okay, sorry, I didn't get it right. They're 16-1. They weren't 17-0.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just run into a juggernaut, and that's what the Kansas State Wildcats appear to be.
If nothing else, the Kansas State's just it's kryptonite for Arkansas, man. It's crazy.
I'm done underestimating the Wildcats, man. I'm never going to sleep on those guys again. But I'm glad that Arkansas broke the purple curse on Saturday by beating TCU. Yes. It seems like that gave this team the lift they needed. And overall, so let me pull up some numbers real quick here. Let's see. First, I got to zoom out because I got it zoomed into. Okay, so Arkansas finishes at the plate 14 of 29. That's a Taylor Green passing performance. That's not a baseball batting average. That's a Taylor Green performance there. They also were walked 10 times, only the 3 strikeouts. You'll live with it, man. You get a couple back-to-back home runs from Helfrick and Justin Thomas. Good stuff, man. Ben Bybee gets the win. I guess I guess they had him on a pitch count. You know what's funny, Curtis? The rule in the the NCAA rule book on who gets the win is discretion of the scorer.
Who's the scorer?
Oliver. Literally, nice. Oliver could just be like, you know what? Steel Eves, dub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's up to whoever. Obviously, most abide by the whole, throw 5 innings, in there and all that. But like literally, the rule is like you can do whatever the hell you want. And so Ben Bybee throws 3 innings, throws 47 pitches. He's your winning pitcher. No save for Wiggins. Good to see him get back on track. He struggled mightily Sunday. Comes in, gives up a base hit the first pitch he throws, 4-pitch walk, throws 2 more balls, and Dave was just like, nope, we're not doing this today.
Sorry, man.
It was like 7-3, but he was like, I'm not dealing with this. Just not dealing with this. But all right, so now we move on to the weekend. Curtis, I appreciate you for joining me for these final few innings, man. It was good. I was not expecting to see you there.
It's good times, man. Yeah, had to hop in for a little bit, and I'm glad it was just the 30 minutes that I was on here more exciting than the entire game in the opener that I set in. So
exactly. Love to see that. Love to see the Hogs win at home. By the way, Curtis, you're going to get like 7 or 8 DMs, I'd imagine, because I didn't read your text on air, but when you texted earlier and said you were like, hey, I might not be on the stream doing some stuff, I was like, Curtis is taking care of some stuff for Pot at the Palace that you guys will be intrigued by. I just left it at that.
Yeah, well, just we'll have some kind of tangible update on an important player in the next hour and a half. What that's going to look like, I'm not entirely sure yet, but we'll know something.
Gotcha. Well, before my internet completely craps out, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you for joining me, Curtis. Appreciate everybody who tapped in on the Baumbastic Watch Along, man. It was a lot of fun, and we'll have to do another one of these soon. We'll see how my Cox internet holds up here in the next few days, but we'll definitely have to do another one of these soon. It's always fun. Appreciate you guys for being here, and we will be back with more episodes throughout the week on the Baumbastic Podcast. Catch us tomorrow, Inside Arkansas Live, as always. Go buy stuff at Alumni Hall, all the fun stuff. He's Curtis Wilkerson. I'm Andrew Ellis. Thank you guys for being here. It's been another brilliant edition of the Baumbastic Watch Along.